everybody, to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital sports network, live. What the shit is going on over here, dude? I mean, oh my gosh, it's just Tuesday. You're acting like it's Friday. Why the madness?
That explains it.
First, I thought we were getting shot at. Then I thought your computer was being blown up, and I'm trying to say, oh, that's what you want. Okay.
Tom Mazaway.
All right, well, then let's just start all over. Welcome to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital sports network, live from iBookie Studios. You have a headache? I'm just trying to keep the peace around here, man. That's enough to give you a migraine. We got the Woodward's court going on around here. Make sure that you are joining in on all the fun and conversation on our social media at Woodward Sports. Of course, you can give us a call, 313-552-6322. I'm your girl, Pilar Lastar. We've got D-Mac in the house. We've got Tom Mazaway still trying to defend himself. I mean, swings left and right. People are throwing them at you.
Just keeps coming at me.
Just keep coming at you.
Can I just say something? Ooh. You're going to want to stick around to the end of the show. Yeah. Because Tom Mazaway has not only something to say about yesterday when we had, our friends Drew and Mark Fellhauer from the Drew and Mike podcast here, is the fact that he's got something to say. But we are going to get to the bottom of what Drew asked us, the chairs. He put it on me, so we are going to have Woodward's Court, the case of the studio chairs, later on in the second hour.
That's right. Also, Fish has got a big performance today. We can't wait for that. So Fish, like always, in the fishbowl, about to throw down some street talk today, huh, Fish?
Possibly.
Rumor has it. We've got Alex keeping us honest behind the glass. And, of course, like always, Jeff manning our social media. So hit us up at Woodward Sports across the board. Make sure that you're downloading our app as well. You can find it on the Apple and Android store. All right, Tom Mazaway, before we get to all the fun, why don't you hit us with your sports update?
This is fun. What do you mean before we get all the fun? This isn't fun?
I mean,
fun for us.
With some kind of something. You get Tom gets a new toy in his, a new toy or a new app or something in his computer, and it's like giving somebody the keys to a Lamborghini who's never driven a car before. It's like, whoa.
I know how to
start pushing all the buttons.
I know what I'm doing.
And that's what they say, too, don't they, Pilar? Oh, I know what I'm doing.
I've been driving for 45.
So prove it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's like you're going down Woodward white-knuckled with your eyes closed.
Fine, I'll go. Here we go. Sports Update brought to you by our good friends from mybookie.ag. Make sure you use that promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit halfway up to $1,000, or if you use Adam's numbers, Woodward 10. You get Adam's money. A free $10 play courtesy of Woodward Sports and, of course, MyBookie and our man Adam, the newlywed himself. Woodward 10. Tigers start a 6-game homestand tonight. The Mariners in town for 3. Then the White Sox after them. Matthew Boyd, Marco Gonzalez. The matchup from Comerica Park, which is now open to all fans. Officially, it is June the 8th, folks. You can go as many times as you want, as many people, bring them whatever. They're filled up. Matter of fact, this weekend they're doing buy one, get one free for the White Sox series. That should be fun. Let's show them.
Are you out for the weekend series because the folks are in town?
Because of the folks. Because my daughter's, Lily, is graduating. I can't make the weekend series, but I hope other people will go because I really wanted to go see the White Sox.
Also, Grand Prix weekend here for us.
That's right.
So that's probably why they're
my
trying
parents
to say,
right now are visiting Belle Isle because my parents are in from Jersey. My mother-in-law, Cindy, took them. She's the tour guide. She took Sammy and Claire down to Belle Isle, and she's showing them the good time right now.
That's nice.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
That's right. Grand Prix coming up this Saturday. This whole weekend they got it. The big race, of course, on Sunday. 2 games in the NBA playoffs tonight. Sixers hosting the Hawks. Atlanta leads it 1-0 in Game 1. Jazz and Clippers from Utah. Jazz will be down a couple of players in this game. Last night, Nets pounded the Bucks 125-86. It was never in doubt. Brooklyn leads it 2-0. Kevin Durant just playing. He's just playing. And we got more on Kevin Durant coming up. Plenty more, as a matter of fact. The fish is in the box, of course. Phoenix beat the Nuggets 122-105. The Suns go up 1-0. Great call by, who called that, Alex and Jeff, or just Alex?
Alex had it both. Alex, I got to give props to the Suns game for sure, and he also nailed the Islanders.
Of course. Suns.
Thank you, Mac.
You got it. Hey,
I'm pretty proud of that kid.
Didn't I give you credit last night?
Pretty proud of that kid. You did. You gave him credit when you said it yesterday. When you said I like the boldness.
And then at the night after the game was over, I flashed.
I know
Islander
you did.
up.
You did your little regular. Yeah. We get this little New York Islanders thing that's bling,
like all glittery.
It looks like Clara's 2-year-old daughter put the bling bling to it.
It does. It's awfully sparkly.
It's beautiful. Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau, Tibbs, wins NBA Coach of the Year 10 years after he won it the first time when he was with the Bulls. Suns, Monty Williams. Some people had him winning it. He had a great year. He finished second.
Do you know what the similarity to winning the first and winning the second was?
He has less hair now.
D Rose.
D Rose, nice going, Mac.
Yeah,
D Rose with us. He was a rookie, I think. Not a rookie, but he was a young player.
But that's where it developed that relationship. And
awesome.
You got to look into the why, and you look at that Knicks culture that they never had it. But obviously now bringing Tibbs in, they're getting that, and Dolan, their owner, who is not the most liked guy. Yeah. He's awful, but good for them.
Now, he usually wears players out. That's the only downside, supposedly, for him. But he's a great basketball coach. He preaches that defense.
Here's the thing. You can be that coach, right, that wears somebody out, but then you have your guys, right, where that you don't wear out and you have this relationship and you build with it, right? One guy, if you want to keep it, and a great player, but it reminds me of like a Mike Babcock had a Drew Miller around.
There you go.
Right, in Anaheim, whatever. It's the same as Steve Yzerman comes here. What does he do? He brings in an Adam Ernie. Guys that that know your style. So, it's something to be said.
Who would you say that guy is for Blashill?
What's that?
Fish. How would you say? Who would you say that guy is for Jeff Blashill, Mac?
Who's that player for Jeff? You know what? It's too early to tell, right? Like because it hasn't been sort of determined, and he hasn't been somewhere else. So it's usually a guy like a Barry Trotz. You look at what they've done in the Isle. Why? I said it before. Look at the culture they brought in. They brought in the New Jersey Devils culture, right? Not only with Lou Lamoriello, the general manager, but they brought in Kyle Palmieri, Travis Zajac, Andy Green, their former captain. So you got to look at where the stability is. Like if you look at the Detroit Red Wings now, and we've always said, well, look at Stevie. He general managed. He set up that Stanley Cup winning team in Tampa. If you see that it started there, but he has moved more towards what Colorado and Joe Sakic are doing with the Avalanche, who have a big game tonight, big Game 5 against Las Vegas. But you look at it with the Cale Makars, the Rantanens, the McKinnons, all this stuff up the middle. That's where Detroit is moving towards. So they're a great mirror to be in a couple years.
2 games in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Mac just talked about them. Tonight, Game 5, Canes host the Lightning. Tampa Bay, they're up 3-1, so they can close it out tonight, the defending champs. And Colorado, the President's Trophy winners, and hosting Vegas, who had the same record as Colorado did, but less regular wins. So Colorado got the President's Trophy. So it's Colorado and Vegas tonight in Colorado. Series tied at 2. This one is going to be a great one. Last night, Montreal finished off Winnipeg. We called it. That's because Habs man told us Winnipeg will lose, and they did. 3-2 in overtime. Jets played hard, though. Canadiens sweep them 4-0 in that one.
So look at that team. Look at the Montreal Canadiens, put together by Mark Bergevin, former teammate. But the thing is, who have they brought in and stuff? Tyler Toffoli won the Stanley Cup a few times with the Los Angeles Kings, and Corey Perry, who has won cups in Anaheim. And it's who are the veteran guys you bring in. And you look at that Montreal team, that's when you play playoff hockey. They're playing it to a T, and this has given them time. The biggest attribute, if you didn't know, so I'll bring it back to Michigan connection, Jeff Petrie, son of Dan Petrie, 84 Tigers, former pitcher, got hurt last night in the first period. And the fact how big it was that Montreal was able to close it out there at home, gives time to rest, time to get him back. It's huge because what do I say? Goaltending. They got Jesus Price.
Yep.
Right? Carey Price, but they call him Jesus Price. Right?
Jesus saves.
And then they're getting the goals, the bounces. You got kids like Cole Caulfield, who a lot of people saw down the road in Pontiac play for the under-18s before he was drafted, get the opportunity there on the setup. So the culture is that they're doing it, and the Isles are doing the same thing. It's that playoff hockey.
Jeff Iafredi, our main man on the internet here, on the on Twitter and YouTube, the guy, our social media guy, Jeff. The Canadians, he sent me this stat. The Canadians have not trailed for 437 minutes, 53 seconds. It's now the second longest streak all time without trailing in a single playoff year. That's 7 hours and almost 18 minutes of never trailing in a game in the playoffs.
Well, you know my question. Who's the longest?
I want it, and I didn't have time to look it up.
Okay.
I didn't look it up.
That's a question at home. Maybe you can...
I'm going to guess it's the Devils.
Shut up.
I am.
I know you are, but that's because you're a freaking homer.
No. I'm going to go back to the track.
I'm going to go to the Islanders.
I could have said the Islanders.
Well, I'm going to say the Islanders.
You say the Islanders?
Can somebody look that up and then tell us?
Somebody will look it up. I'm going to say it's the Devils back in the mid-90s.
Because you're a homer.
No, because they had the defense, the track.
What he's trying to say is they played the Devils when they beat us. Played like they beat us. They played this trap style. Which back in the day, Pilar, when you could hug and grab guys and stuff, playing the trap was pretty much like playing wrestling, and you wrestle with big guys. So
that's what Lou told me to do.
You still wanted to rub it in.
I don't want to rub it in.
You were rubbing it in.
I wasn't rubbing it in.
Nice day yesterday, 24 years, and then you just want to rub it in.
It's just my guess.
First wound.
It's my guess.
All right,
by the way, Islanders beat the Bruins last night. If you haven't figured that out, in Boston, 5-4. They take a 3-2 series lead heading into the old barn, where they're trying to close down Nassau Coliseum because the Isles move into the beautiful, posh Belmont Park new home next year. So this is it. They make a run here. This is the last time. If Boston beats them in 2 games, they will never play in New York again in that building.
What's the key, Maz? Because
the key is
the stat's still alive.
My stat is still alive. I told you. The Islanders have won 2 Stanley Cups when beating Boston in a playoff series. They're 2-0 when it comes to that. They faced Boston twice, beat them twice for Stanley Cups. What up, Alex?
In celebration of me picking that game right last night, I would like to, I know it's kind of late, but I would like to declare the New York Islanders as my Stanley Cup team this year.
You're allowed.
And I'm going to let you, because they were my very favorite team.
You know why you're allowed?
Why is that?
Not because Maz said you're allowed, but because that you've shown you were waiting. You had your toes in the water. This hasn't been out of left field like I'm going for this. I've seen you come to this point where it's declarations. So you know what? They're not going to make it by the next round, but I like your style.
Tammy says boo on our social media.
But she likes the ratatouille. Did you see the goal Marchand scored last night?
That was sick.
That was one of the sickest
sick
goals. If you can find it during the show, we'll have to show it because you brought Tammy up and she loves it when he scores.
Jeff, what do you have for us?
So shout out to the people in the social media chat. Apparently it's the 1960 Habs. They hold the record.
Oh,
so
okay. All
so
right,
Habs and Habs.
Yeah,
Habs and Habs.
There it is. Thank you to everybody out there. Obviously, the original trap.
The original trap back in the day when there weren't many teams in the NHL. I still say the Devils own that record. Anyway, NFL news today. Lions mandatory minicamp is open at Allen Park. We were there today. Corey Woods was there at least. We'll have some sound from that, of course. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers expected to skip Green Bay's mandatory minicamp. They could find him $93,000. So who did it on the internet? Someone let me think. Who did it? Anyway, the stat is if you find him $93,000, it's Darren Ravel. If you find Aaron Rodgers $93,000, that's like finding an average Green Bay family $267.
You know, I don't think that's fair for people to say that because you take that into consideration, but you don't know if he's what he's providing for his family. You don't know what his bills are. You don't know any of that.
Well, he's globe-trotting. He's around everywhere. He lives the high life.
Vacation to Hawaii.
I think what it does is it sort of gives
but
you a comparable.
No, I get it. I get it.
So he can't buy a Lamborghini for this next week. For next week.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree, but it kind of bothers me when other people count other people's money sometimes. Because
don't count.
I feel like you don't know a lot of these guys, and Aaron Rodgers isn't one of the guys that I'm assuming is taking care of his entire family. But some of these guys do take care of their entire families, but
yeah, he's not one of them. His family don't even like him. They don't like him. He don't like them.
No, that was while he was dating Olivia Munn.
Oh, okay.
Everything's fine.
It's all set now.
Mm-hmm.
And sad news especially for Giant fans. Jim Fassel, one of their great head coaches back in the 90s and early 2000s, passed away at 71 only. Had a heart attack I mean, the guy's in great shape and all, and he still had a heart attack. He passed away. Took the Giants to Super Bowl 35 against the murderer Ray Lewis and the Ravens in Tampa. I was at that game. They blew him out, but that defense was second to none.
You were at that game,
How
weren't
can
you?
You cannot say that about Ray Lewis.
I'm sorry,
when
did
you
I
will
slip?
not say that about O.J. Simpson.
No, OJ was innocent.
What was Ray?
Are you serious?
What was Ray?
I was just going to
Ray
say that
was
you
way
can't
more
call
innocent.
Ray Lewis the murderer and not call OJ a
Where's his
murderer.
white suit?
Don't
Where's
ever
his white
bring
suit?
up Ray Lewis's name
Are
in vain like
you
that again.
serious?
Did I say murder? I'm sorry. I didn't. I don't know. I
Yeah,
slipped. I slipped. So anyway, rest in peace,
I
Coach
slipped.
Fassel.
That's his new one. Ooh, I slipped. He's gonna go with dementia.
I feel
now.
like he did find Jesus after all that. You hear him talking
He did.
about.
That's great. That's great. I'm happy for him.
No,
He's great.
listen. I understand. Trust me. I
doesn't
get
fit
it.
into Maz's profile, so
I get it.
so he's got nothing.
I
for him.
don't like people.
Remember, it's Tuesday, and
Listen.
he hates Tuesdays and Tom Brady.
Let me say something to you. I don't like when people try to compare him to the greatest NFL player of all time. I mean, period.
Who would that be,
Who
man?
would that be?
Lawrence Taylor. Hands down.
Because why do they compare him?
Changed the
Because they're
NFL.
linebackers.
I understand, but they
Yeah.
compare him I'm sorry, Ray. You're not there. You're not there. But nonetheless, I move on. This day in sports, we go back to 1992. Our beloved Detroit Tigers playing a game with the Indians. John Doherty on the mound. Who remembers John Doherty from that 1992 team with Travis Fryman at third? What a team this one was. Anyway, we got a little bean brawl going here. Check out Sandy Alomar. Easy would be proud of him. Check this kick out.
Sandy Alomar at the plate. Look out. Wow. Now Sandy's coming out. Uh-oh. I'll tell you what, folks, it's nasty. Yep.
Baseball fights are intense.
They're good.
Maz, you know who this announcer is?
Baerga is really hot. Danny Gladden's got him.
I don't.
And now
Darn.
Jose Morales.
You're supposed to know these things,
I know.
Maz.
And you know what, Fish? I really wanted to know who it was. I got sidetracked and I didn't look it up. But I did think the same thing, obviously, because you and I like to hear the play-by-play. By the
what
way,
I always wanted to see is when the guy goes to charge the mound, he turns around and just drills the catcher, and then he can get out there in a little bit less time.
did you like his kick? His air kick?
Dude, it's not,
You thought he was Bruce Lee. Show
Dude.
that kick again, Alex. You don't have to play the sound.
Listen,
Just show that kick
if
again.
that was easy, right, that would have knocked him out.
He would have
with
dropped
that kick.
easy with
But
this
you
kick.
don't be kicking with spite.
Easy.
There's no question. Easy goes down. Yeah. Right there. Okay, that's good enough. Anyway, that was back in 92. Mac, what record do you think they had in 1992? Well, how many games? You think they were over 500 or under 500?
No.
All right,
they're
so
like
what do you think their record was?
66 and 96.
No, there was 75 and 87. Almost a three-way tie in the AL East at that time with the Yankees, and there was one other team. It might have been the Blue Jays that were in a three-way tie. No, the Blue Jays were good that year. There was one other team in that AL East. I'll look it up. But, yeah, they were tied for like third place with three teams
All
with
right.
that 75 wins.
All right, guys.
had
When
enough
we
of me?
come back,
Okay.
it is time for us to get to the big hook. It's
She's had enough of me.
Lions
Just move it on.
mandatory minicamp. It opens
The hell with Matt.
today.
The hell's the difference what he's saying?
Just saying, so
Let
don't
him
go
do
anywhere.
what
We
the
got
hell
our
he
boy
wants.
Corey, who's got some good interviews for us. So don't go anywhere. You're tuning into the Hook on Woodward
The hell's
Sports
the difference
Network.
what I say?
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Welcome back to the Hook on Woodward Sports Network. All right, guys, football is in the air. Lions mandatory minicamp opens today. We've got some clips from our boy Corey in his interviews. Let's go on ahead and play those.
Oh, we got to set him up.
Okay.
Corey asked one
I
of
was
the first.
going to play them and then we could talk about them.
Well, the first question that Corey asked him was obviously he got the first question in, and he basically said to Coach, hey, they're busting your balls about you wearing that racing helmet. This is the coach.
Woods, first question.
Hey, Dan. Over the past couple of weeks, from the comment about the kneecaps in your introductory press conference last week, wearing the helmet to talk about the Grand Prix, which I thought was pretty cool, you've caught your fair share of criticism from the media. What do you think that is that some media members are missing about the way that you're trying to connect with the city?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm not worried about it. I get it. There again, my whole thing, it was kind of a joke. It was the helmet was sitting here, and so, but it was also like, hey man, it's the Detroit Grand Prix. I think that would be a pretty cool deal for our people, our fans, to see that. And I think if I'm associated with the Grand Prix, it's like, hey man, that's pretty cool. And so that's really as far as it went. I'm not worried about the criticism. Look, I'm going to get criticized either way. That's what you guys do and everybody outside of this world, and ultimately I'm going to be judged on wins and losses. And so that's just, there again, I was just kind of keeping it light. Look, those things aren't going to happen during the season. I'm not, but right now I'm just kind of being me. I'm having a good time with it. And so I hope that answers it, Corey.
So there's a lot that I like to this
I
interview.
hope it answers you, Corey. Whoa, Coach giving him first name, Matt. Talk about how good props that is before we get into.
That's a nice thing.
Look at Dan Campbell's body movements and stuff whenever he's up there. It almost looks like he's fixing his neck, like he's about to go into the ring with somebody. I feel like he's always just kind of like,
Can I tell you what that is?
Oh, great. Here we go
That's
again. You're going to bring it up. Yeah,
No.
tell.
That's the athlete going how I would respond as an athlete, and then I got to remember I'm a head coach.
Right.
And I got to, what he pretty much means,
right.
It's Detroit versus everybody. Your head football coach gets it. That's all you want. That's the vibe that I love, is that it feels like we're all in this together. And it doesn't mean wins or losses, but it explains the why.
Sure.
Right? And we'll continue to talk and hear more. The guy's excited to be there. Every clip you hear coming out of there, any of the players talking, is the excitement that is built.
I also feel like what Corey really wanted to say without kind of saying, but did kind of say it, was, the hosts of The Herd gave you a lot of criticism.
Right.
I think that's what he was really.
They were the only ones that talk smack about it.
I think that's what Corey was really trying to clarify.
Hey, when he was on with Pat McAfee a few months ago, Dan Campbell, at the end of that interview, and I'll grab it for you one of these days, but it was just something in passing, and Dan Campbell was just talking, and McAfee loves the guy. He called him MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell. His T-shirts are everywhere. Nonetheless, at the end of the conversation, Campbell says to him, hey, I was going to ask you, and this was the truth, I was going to ask you to be my special teams coach. But I know this radio thing of yours is blowing up. This podcast thing is blowing up, and I know you wouldn't have taken it. But he really would have offered Pat McAfee, the special teams coach, because Pat McAfee is Dan Campbell. They are the same guy. Is that true?
No, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. And I'm a huge. There's no doubt about it. That's the exactly is who do you want to be or whatever. What Pat McAfee's doing is because he's authentic, and whether he's. I love the fact he's made the transition into SmackDown, and how he relates, and the wrestling is as a fan. He is who he is. That's who Dan Campbell is. That's how. Guys that played. And when he said that to him, because Pat McAfee, what you remember about him, he was Peyton Manning's punter, right, with all that. But he was the first guy, one of the first guys that would on the kickoffs be down making hits or making hits on punt. He's got some great. And then you watch him when he makes that transition, because here's the one thing that I really respect is he doesn't get into anything like I try not to without doing your homework or at least showing the respect behind it. If anybody saw the NXT War Games that he participated in, he looked like he'd been wrestling for 20 years. That's how great of an athlete this guy is. He can do whatever he wants.
And he was a punter.
What?
Yeah. And he was a punter.
But
that's where he breaks the mold or whatever. And I just like the way that he conversates. But yeah, the fact that lets you know. And Matt's the long answer to your question is yes, he is the same person.
Oh. And the other thing that I did like from this interview, or from the way that he answered the question, was he said, I was just trying to make light of it. This isn't going to go on during the season.
No.
He knows the difference between, hey, it's off season and when it's time to be on season.
He's not a clown.
Exactly. And I think that pretty much said, like, look, guys, don't expect this from me, when the season is and it's all business at that point,
but
right?
Didn't we expect, but isn't that how we all read it at the beginning? The
did.
competition, the being a part of the city and stuff, and then go to work. That's the mentality, what he's sort of preaching. And, I had a chance to talk with a couple former players that have played with Dan Campbell, and it's just his passion for the game and his passion for people, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And it's sort of like what we got going here at Woodward Sports. It's the compassion of the love of sports, but the love of people to bring it out to the fans and, to come back here and have to do these things.
Well, if you remember, Mac, we've had plenty of coaches and plenty of press conferences, and I'll remember one, and it was back, I think, in Super Bowl 33, whatever year that was, when we finally got Marty Morningweg as our coach. And I remember being at the Super Bowl and in Media Row, and this guy was doing his press conference back in Detroit. And they put Marty Morningweg up on the big screen. Everyone's gathered around. He's got Matt Millen on his side. And that's when the M&M sideshow started. And the first thing he said was, the bar is high. And people were like looking at each other like, what the? Who is this guy? How did this freaking clown get a job? And then they ride in on their motorcycles at Saginaw Valley at minicamp. I remember Millen and Morningweg. I almost got my foot run over. I remember I was with Steve Courtney and Dan Dickerson. Was standing there.
You don't think that was on purpose?
Yes. But here's what happened, Paul. Let me fill you in. This is their first practice at minicamp, at summer camp before the season started. And they used to be at Saginaw Valley State University in Saginaw, Michigan. So they ride in with their motorcycles, and Matt Millen comes to town. Before he came to town, going into the Silver Dome was like a picnic. We'd be able to walk in and walk right through the Lions offices. Like we could see Wayne Font's office, Mr. Ford's office. We'd have access to everything. Sit in the kitchen, eat, open the refrigerator, do whatever. When Millen came, he installs this like FBI security system. You have to put your finger here to get in. You need like 5 badges of ID to get anywhere. So it changed completely. And one of their rules was no cell phones in practice. So what happens? They're in practice. It's their first one. And someone's cell phone rings. One of the media members. And we're all standing there. And what do? They blow the whistle. That's it. They didn't say practice. They just Millen and Morningweg walked off the field, broke practice up, went on their motorcycles, and drove away.
Wow.
We've had some clowns here, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So here comes Dan Campbell, and he wants to bite kneecaps, and he's doing this. And when we get down there, we're going to bite another kneecap. So people like Colin Cowherd and Joy Taylor and some of the media go after him and call him a clown. We've had clowns here in the past.
Sure.
This guy is not a clown. This guy was an interim head coach with the Dolphins. They played well for him. He's put his time in. He's been with Sean Payton the last bunch of years. This guy is ready to lead men, and look at the staff he put together.
Yeah.
You don't come play for a clown. You don't do that. You don't put your career on hold if you do Staley and take the same job you had and come here and do it. You don't do that unless you trust in the guy.
And two, I think he said it from the very, very beginning. One of his first interviews that he did, he said a list of the mistakes that he learned from last year. So when you come at it that way, it'd be one thing if you would look at him and be like, well, he's not really the track record of success, and he was doing all this, but he's already clarified a whole bunch of stuff that he needs to work on, a whole bunch of stuff that he realized. And I really, really do believe that you need to have fun when you go to work, and your guys need to rally behind that. And it's a lot different when you look at guys like, Wade Phillips. He was nice. It wasn't necessarily that he was fun. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. His defensive mind is insane. But when it was time for him to be a head coach in Dallas, he was just too nice. You just wanted to hug him. He was like you, Tom Mazaway. You just see him, you just want to give him a hug. You know what I mean?
But it's like Dave Lewis.
Dan Campbell doesn't have that.
Replacing Scotty Bowman.
That was impossible.
It was never going to succeed because he was our guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And Barry Smith.
Dan Campbell's the kind of guy that you want to see him and high five him.
Guy. You know, like you have to have this, and it's not a bad thing, but it's like Scotty yells at Barry to get stuff across. We bitch at Louis to get the message across because it's just a different way, and that's how it works.
Louis was a good coach. You can't follow Scotty Bowman.
Great coach, but again with a veteran team, it was a tough, and we didn't play well enough in front of him.
Look what happened with Brad Osmus. He comes here to a Tigers team that's ready to win a World Series, and he fell on his face. He wasn't ready for that. Same thing here. Yeah. So people are on top of Dan Campbell. I think they're going to be wrong this time.
Well, more Detroit versus everybody. Pro Football Focus ranks the Lions' offensive line 10th best.
All right.
Seriously?
Well,
Come
top 10,
on.
I guess.
But we're so much better than that.
Yeah, but no, here's the thing, Pilar, is that you'd let them because we're all on paper. We're not on. We're
you're
not
right.
because
you're
of
right.
what you're
but
gonna.
This is what I have a problem with.
Do. Here's the big. You got to slow it down, because you're going to put in the first rounder that is a left tackle, and you're going to try to make him a right tackle. What 10th gives you is we could say, all of us, potential top 5, potential top 3, but until they find their flow, until they operate as one, I don't think it's a smack in the face. I think more of like Maz saying, okay, top 10 for a team that's supposed to be last.
Yes.
Right.
That's good.
And we know they're better than that.
They know they're better than that. It's
we
motivation.
know that they're better than that, but sometimes I feel like you look at that graphic again. Going back to that list, they've got the Dallas Cowboys at number 6. Everybody wants to say
old Cowboys.
That's what I was going to say. Everybody wants the Dallas Cowboys to have that offensive line that they had 2-3 years ago. It has changed, and what happened last year is that it was exposed. The second that Dak Prescott went down, that offensive line was in shambles, and you started realizing whether they lost people in free agency, retirement, or injuries, that offensive line is not the one that everybody wants to hang on to. So automatically, I would say our offensive line is better than the Dallas Cowboys. And I love my Dallas Cowboys. I'm just saying, like, I feel like some people just want to hold on to the image, and that's what this list is.
Again, that's Pro Football Focus, where they didn't have any Lion as a top running back, if you remember, in the top 32.
In the top 32.
We're talking DeAndre Swift, not even in the top 32.
Yeah.
So you can take it with a grain of salt here. They have Jared Goff at 26 out of 32. I think they're out of their mind, 26 out of 32. Out of their mind.
Yeah, it's too low.
Yeah, I mean,
too low.
But I also do like what you said. Like, look at it as a top 10.
Yep.
But then how can you say we have a top 10 offensive
that's
line
what
and then
said,
throw...
take it with a grain of salt because they're all over the board.
Where out of 32? Like if
26,
26 out of 32. If you have a top 10 offensive line, you got to expect a little bit more from our quarterback at that point, right?
And we're going to have plenty to talk about with him.
And you should also expect a little bit more from a running back in our community. I mean, the one position that I feel that the Detroit Lions are focusing on right now is the running back situation. I mean, that's been a heavy topic
till Todd
of
Gurley
conversation.
signs, right?
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
How can he not sign yet,
we
by the
don't
way?
we don't need another running back. Let's start getting some weapons for Jared Goff to throw to.
Todd Gurley's a weapon out of the backfield.
I understand that, but he needs some
that's
down
good.
the
That's
field.
Gonna come.
Well, I think
next draft.
Yeah, but I mean, we should be addressing that right now. We've got too many running backs. I feel like
four.
I love.
You have
the
4
idea.
running backs.
I know, but we've got 4 really
3,
good.
excuse me. 4 would be Gurley.
4 would be Gurley, assuming that Gurley's going to come, which I do think he's going to come here. But, and those are all 4 very good running backs that can all be used. So it's not like you have one that's just kind of sitting there. And I love depth. I love solid depth in case, especially to a position like the running backs that do get hurt so much. But we don't need 4.
I like what Kevin says. Grain of salt or content filler preseason. I think we all know that. This is just one of your many, many, many things you're going to put in your brain before you make your draft, right, Pilar?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Hey, we're going to have a Lions superfan coming on in a few minutes, but before we do it, I want to play this cut to you from TJ Hawkinson. He was on Good Morning Football today on NFL Network. They asked him about his new quarterback, Jared Goff.
What's the read on Jared Goff, and what's he got in store for the rest of the league, who might be counting him out heading into 2021?
Right. Jared's my dog. He's a great dude. Came in. I threw with him a couple times this offseason out in LA, and that guy just has a different mentality. I've been excited to have him, see the throws he's made in 7-on, see what kind of person he is, how he sees the game. There's nothing like it, and it's just, I really am excited to have him as my quarterback. The reads that he's made, the reads that he's done has been special, and I know that guy is ready to go. He really is.
Look at the Hawk. Hawk's got some hair growth there,
I
man.
love that he said, "That's my dog. That's my dog." I do think that is who is expected to be that shiny weapon and that target that is going to be Jared Goff.
That don't sound like the 26th ranked quarterback to me, Mac.
No, I think more than anything, it's just, developing. What you hear is that these guys are going to go to work and they're going to find it. And we all know that Jared Goff is, if you protect him, he can do things. And
Sure.
you mentioned the running backs, but TJ Hawkinson is going to be a safety valve this year. That's not a question. So the more you hear guys say that, it's just, it reminds me of me and Drapes or Malt or Ozzy talking or something like that. So the work that's going to be put in, they have to do it on the field, but that's why they're there now at training camp.
Yeah. All right, guys, when we come back, we have got a die-hard Detroit Lions fan who's going to be joining us. Stick around. Mike Archambault.
Mike Archambault. One of you guys.
One of you hookers is going to be joining us. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Radio.
I got the knife. So you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about Coast. Since 1919, Coast has pursued one mission: to make the working professional's job safer and easier. Today, Coast Lights are a favorite among tradesmen and women, outdoor enthusiasts, DIYers, first responders, and more. Visit coastandportland.com and use code WSN20 for 20% off your purchase. They stand by their products, lifetime warranty. If you're buying for the whole crew, set up for the Coast crew to take advantage of special discounts, early access, and new products. Again, 20% off, WSN20, and tomorrow is Wednesday. Send a snarky little comment that you might want a gift certificate, and I'll see what I can do. Go to coastportland.com. Tell them you next time.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network. All right, guys, I'm very excited to have our next guest up, Mike Archambault. Welcome to the show. Detroit Lions, diehard super fan. We absolutely love your social media. Your Twitter handle is amazing. It's Archambault3. People can go on there and follow you. Real, true, die-hard Detroit Lions fan you are, my friend, aren't you?
Absolutely.
How you doing, Mike? Welcome to the show. Hey, tell us a little bit about you. Because I met you today. I've been following you. You got a great Twitter, as Pilar was saying. But fill us in, man. What do you do for a living? All that kind of good stuff.
Some of you guys know that I'm a teacher. I teach preschool on special needs, and I also work part-time as a janitor. So I'm pretty busy all the time. I was in the military prior to that. And I've been a fan since 1984. And I've been around the world, been around the country, and now I'm stuck in Pennsylvania for a while, but cool.
You're stuck in Pennsylvania. I found out you're a young guy, man. You're only 42 years old, and you're already a diehard Lion fan. What brought you to become a Lions fan?
Like I said, in '84, and then I was born in '79. I watched football a little bit, but it wasn't until like '84. I was watching a Detroit Lion game. Billy Sims was playing. Just towards the end of his career, but unfortunately, my grandpa and I were watching it. I just remember him making a play. it just clicked, man. And after that, my mom would buy me the shoulder pads and the mesh jersey. So every morning I'd wake up and I'd put that stuff on. I had my little Lions, 2-bar plastic puffy Rydell or something like that. And I'd watch football every day. And it just started from there, man, of course. And then Barry Sanders in '89. That just really hooked me into life.
Oh, that's amazing.
I love his hashtag. It's Mike Archambault, then hashtag One Pride, Detroit Lions versus everybody. So it's Archambault M3, and that's how you can get him on Twitter. You got a lot of people, man. 16,000 and change following you, man. You must be doing something right.
You going to let me ask a question over there? Jesus.
I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead, brother.
Maz's minions. He's just monopolizing the time.
Hold on 2 seconds. Before you ask your next question, hey,
we didn't even ask him anything yet.
Well, you started asking questions. Oh, my goodness. You see what I have to deal with every day. So there's our social media saying that they're having a hard time hearing you. Is there a way you can raise your volume a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
how about turn your phone?
I tried doing that.
It's not working.
All right.
No, that's cool. Yeah, no, we'll go the other way. Yep, that way we can hear you better because you've got some great stories here.
All right, Mac, it's all yours.
Well, my question to you, as a diehard Lions fan, and I follow you because I love it if you want to keep it real and see what it's like. Now, you mentioned Maz knowing in the past. We've had clowns here, but this isn't a clown show this time around. From you, why does it feel different with this regime, or does it feel like it is a clown show? I don't want to be putting words in your mouth.
I totally understand that, and I mean, like we say it. The saying is we say it every year. We're like, this is our year, and but honestly, I mean, we'll take it back to Patricia time. Like, I'll admit I was sucked in for a while, and then I had enough. So then, when Sheila did that, I was like, oh my God, this is great. I couldn't believe it. She actually fired him, and then I hired Dan Campbell. I did some research. I was on the Robert Saleh train for a while, and then Campbell came up, and I started, I'm like, do you play for the Lions? And then looking at his Miami days, yeah, he did some good stuff there. And then all you heard nothing but good things about the guy. And then like how he connects with, he's already connected with the city, the fans. He's already he played there. He's seen how bad it is. He lived it, and he knows what we've been through as fans in the city, And in his first conference, people are making fun of him. Like, no, this is good. I mean, he's saying this stuff's gonna end. We're no longer gonna be pushed around. It's gonna take time, but we're gonna be out there. We're gonna kick some ass soon. I mean, it's time. And the coaching staff they have, I'm impressed. I mean, put all those minds together. If they can work it, I know there's a lot of got hands in the pot, but I mean, if they can work it together, I believe it's going to work. I mean, it's the first year, but what Holmes did in the draft, he did some good things. It feels really, the energy's high. It always is. But I think Dan Campbell, I believe the guy. I don't think it's BS. I don't care what anybody says, man. I believe the guy.
Mike, do you feel that with such a big social media following that you have and such a diehard fan and a very outspoken fan, I mean, you are real pride to this team and this organization and this city. Do you feel you're always having to defend the Lions to other people?
I mean, I'm not the only one. I mean, there's a lot of fans on social media. There's a lot of great ones out there. I mean, it seems like we are. I mean, but we've heard it all before, like, the Lions and stuff. Maybe they're going to finish fourth in the division, blah, blah, blah. They can't have a playoff game. They can't get in the division. I mean, we're used to it by now, so it's not that bad. But, yeah, I mean, I just take it with a grain of salt. I don't really pay too much attention to some of that stuff. But some of the stuff, it does recognize with me, but, I mean, like, especially if they say, hey, it's Lions fans, you guys suck. You guys don't know what it's like. Bull. We've been through more than most. I mean, Cleveland's up there too. I mean, I'll give props to Cleveland. Look what they did, man, with Dorsey. Works of magic in Cleveland, and he's hands in Detroit too right now too. I'm not saying he's pulling all the shots, but I mean, we got the pieces there, and But like I said, defending Detroit, I mean, yeah, but I don't mind because I see where it's going. And I talked to many friends that are, they keep their expectations low, but they're like, this looks good. I haven't done like this.
Hey, Mike, I like what you put out early. I like what you put out earlier. I think it was today or yesterday. You were talking about Levi Onwuzurike, and you said, could he be our next Ndamukong Suh? And that kind of got me thinking. This guy's a beast. I don't know if he's Sue, but he's a beast.
Right. Yeah, there's never going to be others two. Of course not. But I mean, he has that mentality. You watch tape. His footwork, his hands, he's got that. He's powerful. But McNeil's another guy too. He could be another good defensive tackle for us. But yeah, we put that together up front. I mean, we haven't had that tough front since Stu. When he left, it kind of went. We haven't had that toughness up front. So I think when they got Levi, I was like, yeah, this is neat. And then they got McNeil. I'm like, ooh, they're building it up front and the trench. Yep. And they got right away. I went crazy. I love the way they built the trenches first. Because if you don't have a line, you're not. I don't care who your quarterback is. Mm-hmm. You're not going to do much. I mean, Goff. If you have a good, Goff is not. It's not okay. He's not Stafford. I'll say that right now. But you have a line to protect the guy. He's got some decent weapons. You got the running backs out of the backfield who can catch the ball. You have Hawkinson, who's just going up every year. And these receivers. I mean, they're not big names, but we have some burners. We can get some protection. We can hit some big plays. I mean, and a play action pass. It can be nice and big for us.
Would you like to see him sign Gurley? Last question. Would you like to see him sign Todd Gurley? You think he's got any tread on the tires left?
You know what? If it was a couple years back, I'd be like, yeah. But I know when injuries happen, it sucks. Running backs' careers are like 5 years. Gurley, I mean, he probably still has something left in the tank, but we have Swift. They got Williams, who can do it all, too. We got these rookies who are hungry. I mean, if you put Gurley in there, I can see sort of maybe the presence in the locker room and stuff like that. If he's cheap, yeah, I could see that. But if it's going to be like, I don't want to see it taking all the carries away from Williams and Swift.
All right.
That's my.
All right, man.
Last year, he did a decent job, but they just got out of hand. They kept giving him the ball.
Yeah. No doubt. Hey, Mike, man, we want to thank you for joining us. You're a great follow.
Yes.
It's Archambeau, ARCHAMBEAU, and an M with a 3.
Mike,
so Archambeau M3. One Pride, Detroit Lions versus everybody on Twitter. We wish you the best. Thank you for doing what you do. My wife's a special ed teacher as well, so I feel you, man. And we'll get you in Michigan again one of these days.
Yes.
Love the shirt in the background, bro. We'll check in with you closer to the season and see how it goes. Keep our fingers crossed.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks,
Take it easy, Mike.
Great stuff there. One of the things that he said was Jared Goff is not Matthew Stafford. And I agree with that, right? Look, the Rams got a phenomenal quarterback. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback.
Never won a playoff game, though.
I understand that, but it was also in the system that he was in. It was also the situations that he was in. But take a really good quarterback who's never won a playoff game, who's never been to a Super Bowl with his current team. Take a Jared Goff quarterback that people say he's not that great, right? He's 16 out of 32. Some people will rank him. But he has been to a Super Bowl. He has won a playoff game. Why?
6 of them.
Because all you need is the right team, right? There's no I in team.
The coach, the team, the whole 9 yards.
In order for you to get to a championship or really close to a championship, even be a real contender for a championship, the whole system needs to be working. And I feel that that's what Jared Goff is coming into now. And Jared Goff has that where he can come in and say, this is what worked when we went to the Super Bowl, and this is what did not work. So there's a lot to be said for just his knowledge alone and his experience that he's got coming in here.
Do we have the Goff interview still? Did you hear when we're about it? Here's the bottom line, and I'll say it. And the more that they put this team together, the more they're going to prove me right. If you surround him with the right pieces and keep them upright and protected, he will take you a lot further than you think.
Yeah. All right, guys, we still have a lot more NFL talk, so don't go anywhere. You are tuning in to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for our good friends at Legacy Partners Insurance. You know the deal. You turn on the TV and you see all these insurance agents saying they can give you the best deal. But the way to get the best deal is to have a local insurance company that knows the local insurance market. That's why you need Legacy Partners Insurance. You can go to their website, legacypartnersins.com, to learn more. Of course, you can call them, 586-209-4106 for your free. They will check out your insurance needs. They will give you a checkup. You should check your insurance every year because your rates go up. You don't know it, but they do go up. They're independent as well at Legacy, so they get you plenty of quotes. For a personal insurance, that means auto or home, you get 7 to 10 different companies bidding for your account. Also, if you have a commercial account need, they have 50 different carriers that they go through, and they've been doing this for over 100 years, so you got to trust them. It's really a no-brainer. If you haven't had your insurance quoted this year, give them a call, 586-209-4106. You got Max and Trevor. They'll be answering that phone. Make sure you ask for them, Max or Trevor, at Legacy Insurance Partners. Keep it right here.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network. All right, guys, just a little bit more news and notes from around the NFL. We touched on this early already. Aaron Rodgers expected to skip Packers' mandatory minicamp. Did anybody think he was actually going to be there?
No.
And it's going to only make it awkward if he actually does show up.
No,
if he stays there, it's going to make it awkward. All this drama, and now you're going to go back?
Not going to make it awkward. It's going to lose. It's just like the Floyd Mayweather-Logan Paul. It's got to that point, right?
Yeah.
If Floyd doesn't knock him out, then Logan Paul wins, and Floyd just ruins his rep that he doesn't care about. Aaron, if he goes back to Green Bay, then his word's nothing. For whatever dollars or that, this is done, if he's because of the stance that he's taken.
Yeah. More news and notes. Former Kansas City assistant coach Britt Reed pleads not guilty in DUI crash that severely injured 5-year-old Ariel Young. So I guess, right?
He does
your
what his lawyer tells him to
tell
do.
You, right?
Tells you what his lawyer to do.
So just an update because I think so. I had read just a brief article just that came out 4 hours ago that he is able to operate a vehicle.
He's allowed to drive again. He's got that you have to, what do they call those things when they put it? Yeah, it's a breathalyzer. Yeah, he has to check in, obviously. If he's had any alcohol on his breath, the car won't start, I guess. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
And actually,
we're like, yeah. That's not good.
Yeah, and actually,
that's
like,
not funny.
if
That's
you
not funny.
eat certain foods,
For more on this, we go to Darren McCarty.
Go to the alcoholic. For more on this, we go to the alcoholic, who I've never had one in the car. I've had a DUI over 2009, but I never had one in the car. But I've seen them and I've heard them, and I've heard that if you eat the wrong food at the wrong time, it can not start the car too. So
really,
just hey.
So I've also heard that if you
get
eat
it
enough
from the plant. Get it from the plant. You don't need that booze.
If you eat enough poppy seeds and have to take a drug test, it's going to fail. I don't know if I believe all that.
That was a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
Elaine failed her drug test because she ate a poppy seed muffin.
Yeah, I don't know
or
if that's
chicken
really
with
true.
Poppy seed sauce, whatever.
For an update on Ariel's condition, the young little 5-year-old girl, she is back at home. I always get my updates from the GoFundMe page of her. So March 27th, her family wrote, Ariel remains in the hospital. She's getting a little better each day, but she is still but she still has a long road to recovery. And then April 13th, Ariel is at home recovering. We hope that her being in a familiar place will help her remember things. She is doing physical therapy, but as of right now, she still cannot walk, talk, or eat like normal 5-year-old. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support, Tiffany, and that's her, I think, the aunt who's been doing this. Then on the 14th, she put Ariel's mother is currently looking for a wheelchair accessible vehicle. If there's anyone in the Kansas City, Missouri area, she asked for that to get her to her appointments. Then the following day, she put that out April 14th. The following day, she put out great news. A wheelchair accessible vehicle has been found and will be delivered to Ariel's mother tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who has helped out. We cannot express just how thankful we are. This will make Ariel's new everyday life so much easier. So the GoFundMe page has really been, I feel like, a saving grace to this family. But I also feel that, that the Reed family, why do they let this go on? Like, why are they just not following this every single day and saying, I understand that he needs to plead not guilty, but you need a vehicle to get your child to and from. Let me get it for you. This is a gift. You need some child care just as a gift. Let me help you here.
Maybe they're not allowed to do that. Maybe their lawyers told them, you can't do that. You have to let the law play out.
I just can't believe that he can actually drive with a breathalyzer after but this not being his first time.
No, that's the bad thing.
So I thought that's where we were going with this. I'm happy to hear that in the worst situation, humanity's coming out to support to whatever, but to Maz's point, it's not the word. I'd be more concerned. I'm going to be concerned about, because there's a court case and then there'll be a civil and then there's going to be a lawyer. I mean, how many?
But then just
call Bernstein. I mean,
then give somebody else the money and say, just donate this on our
wrong world you live in. Your Mads lives in the real world where it's not allowed or what. The question here is, forget that for the fact, how is this guy driving with a breathalyzer? Yeah. How's this guy driving at all? How's he ever going to see a pair of keys?
What's even more sad is that this happens all the time, and so many families don't get the amount of, continued support that this family has gotten because it hasn't been a high-profile incident. But this happens all the time, and it's so sad. People, please don't drink and drive, please.
I feel terrible.
Get an Uber.
Forget about feeling bad for the kids, which is, of course, you feel sorry for Ariel and her family. That's number one, far ahead. But I feel bad for Andy Reid as well, that he has to see his kids turn out to be this. And I don't know. As a father, I don't know how you keep your life straight when your kids are all a mess. It mind boggles me that he has to go through.
Sure.
That's why he does what he does. That's why he probably gets engulfed with football, so he can keep his mind off of this. But there was a reason these kids wound up this way as well. Maybe he didn't pay enough attention to them. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You never know, right? Because I know people that their kids have just gotten involved in wrong situations, and I feel like that's the thing that everybody says, that it's parenting. You weren't involved. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I mean, everybody at the end of the day has to make their own individual choice as an adult, right? Yeah. I mean, mistakes that I've made, I'm not going to go back and blame on my mom. Are you going to go back and blame your mistakes on your parents, or say that was an individual choice you make?
Anthony Robbins did a great seminar out there on you're not your parents' problem, or the product of it. You come by things, but you have your own choice, and it's accountability. So at the end of the day, it's accountability.
So hopefully things continue to get better with Ariel.
Get well, Ariel.
Former Giants coach Jim Fassel passes away at age 71. This one hurt you, huh, man?
It does.
It hurts a lot of
71,
people.
man. I mean, there's a guy.
Young.
He's in good shape. I mean, it's just a freak. I guess it's when it's your time. They call you, and that's the end of it. 71 years old. I don't know. It's sad to me. He took the Giants to the Super Bowl. Obviously, people die every day. This is a sports guy. Obviously, it sticks in my mind. I know he's a good man. He didn't have an enemy. People love this guy. His son, matter of fact, coaches for your team. Coaches for the Cowboys. Special teams coach of the Cowboys. He was special teams coach of the Rams before that. So He was a terrific coach, third most wins in New York Giants history, behind Bill Parcells, Steve Owen, and Tom Coughlin, which is pretty damn good company there. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Fassel family. Only 92 days, by the way, till
football
we kick it off again.
That's some good news.
92 days.
Also, this is just a little bit of funny stuff.
The rich get richer on this one.
Exactly. Patriots owner Robert Kraft gifted a new Bentley for his 80th birthday from his celebrity
Check this out.
friends.
Are you kidding? We knew you wouldn't get it yourself. You went all in for this house, so we thought it was going to be tough for you.
Oh, my
we thought we were getting the car that you were looking at.
Oh my God, look at that.
Are you?
That's exactly what. Oh man.
This came from Meek and Jay and Will and Alan and Des and Jonathan.
God, that's exact. How the fudge did you get it? Because we couldn't get it.
We have resources. It came from Florida. It's been driving on a flatbed for a long time. We'll spend hours making it for us. Here's your.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh, this was. I want to get something we knew you wouldn't get yourself.
Happy 80th. You look 40 and act 25. That's what the card said. But
I'm just so tearing up with that. I'm so.
Shut your mouth. I don't
could
give
drive
a
that.
shit.
He could
You know
drive
what?
that to his next massage. His next rub and tug.
Hey,
he can drive in that.
Grumpy. Go fuck yourself. Fucking. You can't be happy for fucking.
I am happy. Didn't I play it?
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm touched by it.
Yeah.
The guy is actually.
Because did you hear?
He looks like a nice man.
What's the most poignant thing in that video that was played? Did anybody else catch it when Bob Kraft, who's one of the richest guys in the country or whatever, says, I couldn't find one. Where'd you get it? It's the one I wanted.
All right.
And so that's the whole thing is it's the connect. That's the one that was like,
I like that he hugs and kisses.
Really
so
good
I guess
friends.
it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Really?
If there's not enough of those things, they can't have it. And happy birthday, Mr. Kraft.
Yeah, happy
Really
birthday,
nice
sir.
friends. Happy birthday.
We'll get a
So
rub and tug.
Before
hang out with better friends so no one knows you went there.
Before we hit the break, I have one more picture I want you
I have
guys
nothing against
to
the rub
see.
and tug.
Ryan Fitzpatrick at his first day of camp. This is amazing. Ryan's first day of year 17. My teacher is Mr. Rivera. I am 38 years old. I am 74 inches tall. My friends are Terry and Curtis. This is the absolute best. And this is why I think he's going to go into this season a winner. Because he always has fun with his teammates. And when he's having fun and his teams are having fun,
he's going to playoffs.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Washington is going to win the East. They will win the East.
You
Mark
can't
it
help
down.
but want to play with it. It's like going to go play some good old school backyard football.
Yep.
Let's just have a good time.
They got a hell of a team.
All right, guys. When we come back, Fish has got his it's not a debut, right? Because
he's
already done it.
He's going into his alter ego.
Yes.
His alter ego. But what is it whenever they have like a night at the theater or something? What is
debut?
that called? It's not a debut.
It's Fish's Masterpiece Theater.
There
in the
you
Fish Bowl.
go.
Right?
There
Masterpiece
you go.
Theater in the Fish Bowl.
There you go.
With our boy Fish Durant.
So don't go anywhere. You do not want to miss
KD
this.
has done it again.
You are tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Street Exchange, downtown Fenton. I'm trying to find me a shirt. Ooh, look at these swimming shorts. What are you doing over there, Stick?
I'm trying to find me a drink. Ooh, look at these bonfire bitters.
Ready for summer.
Let's
You know, the ball at work. Hey, Drug Bell, Sean Baligian. See you guys next weekend.
Thanks, mate. Pork belly soft. Wait till it comes to New Zealand. Pour that out.
You know what's cool about this bottle I was just looking at, and I'm talking about 8 Mile Vodka. Born in Detroit. It's not the what, it's the who, but the whole city's in the background in the bottle. So, Pilar, when you're done finishing the 8th bottle here, can I please have it to put up? Anyways, Pilar's doing a banger job on this. Should have it done by tomorrow, but 8 Mile Vodka, born in Detroit, distilled in single 90-liter batches, allow for optimal quality control and care. Carbon filtered, aerated, and bottled, the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with smooth finish and character all its own. Exceptional premium vodka. You can chill, drink it straight, whatever. Get it at Meyer. Order it at any bar out there. This award-winning vodka. But one thing, ladies, ladies and gentlemen, as much of a lush as my friend Pilar is, she is responsible. So you should be too. Don't drink and drive. Please drink responsibly.
There you go. I found the best thing to do is just drink at home. I have nowhere else to go, right?
You are responsible.
My biggest danger is going up and down my stairs.
See, that's what I'm saying. And you got Antonio.
Yeah, and I got
the grapes, Antonio.
My nice husband to always catch me when I fall. Real quick before we get to Maz's
on that note,
sports
can I get
update.
some almond milk, please? Thank you. Ooh, this is so. Why is this almond milk you put in here a little bit? It's so much tastier than. Oh my God, it's so delicious.
I got in so much trouble because I bought the almond cow that makes your own almond milk, so that I'm not buying the stuff at the stores with all these fillers. And it comes to the door, and it's this big old box, and it's got like a cow in the shape of an almond, kind of. And my husband was like, "Pilar, honey, what the hell did you order?" I was like, "It's an almond cow."
God,
he literally had a cow, guys. He was like, "This, you've gone too far,
Do you
Pilar.
keep it in
You've
the
gone
fridge?
too far." No, it's just this machine, and you put whatever nuts you want into it, cashews
And it makes
or
nut
almonds,
juice.
or. You are so.
What do you think,
gross.
Juicy Jeff? It makes nut juice. That's what it does.
You are so gross.
Hollywood fucking Hank over there.
You
or Honolulu Hank, Juicy Jeff.
You put your almonds, and then it'll give you almond milk. You put your cashews, it gives you cashew
And you
milk.
fuck around, Tom,
And
your
can
nuts will be in the fucking almond milk. Make it.
Ouch.
But it's, hey, Pilar, thank you, though. It's delicious. I've never had
my
it before.
God.
It's phenomenal. Thanks, Ann.
Oh my gosh, goodness gracious. All right, let's just get back to our normal stuff here on the Hook on Woodward
that's not
Sports
normal?
Network. No, that's not normal. While Fish is getting ready and in character for his Oscar-nominated performance that he's about to give us, Maz, why don't you hit us with your sports update?
I will. Thank you to our good friends and our studio sponsors, mybookie.ag. Don't forget, use that promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit halfway to $1,000. And if you do Woodward 10, they will give you a free $10 play courtesy of the newlywed himself, the Sheik of the Spread, Adam Baydoun, all on mybookie.ag. Tigers start a 6-game homestand tonight. It's the Mariners in town. For 3, Matthew Boyd against Marco Gonzalez from Comerica Park, which is now open to all fans. No masks needed. Go have a good time. 2 games in the NBA playoffs tonight. Sixers hosting the Hawks. Atlanta up 1-0. Jazz and Clippers from Utah. That is game 1. Mike Conley out for the Jazz in this game. Just 2 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Game 5, Canes and the Lightning from Tampa. They're up 3-1. Actually, the Canes are hosting the Lightning, and the Tampa Bay's up 3-1. Colorado hosting Vegas. That series deadlocked at 2 apiece. And we take you, Lions mandatory minicamp. We've talked about that. It is open at Allen Park, and Aaron Rodgers not in Green Bay, not at their mandatory minicamp. Going to be fined 93 G's. That's what they say, at least. Let's take you back to 2002. Everyone likes to see Mike Tyson. Unfortunately, you don't want to see Mike Tyson kind of like this. The great Lennox Lewis toying with him in this heavyweight bout.
We're underway. Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson for the heavyweight championship of the world. Needs a knockout to win. He's never had a knockout past the 7th round.
Oh.
Boom.
Tripling Mike Tyson with a big uppercut, and Eddie Cotton separates the fighter. He's called it a knockdown. Thinking that Tyson's knee touched the canvas. I'm not sure I saw that. I don't think I did either, Larry. Lewis unloaded.
Oh.
Lennox Lewis trying to finish off Mike Tyson with 1 minute left in the 8th round. Mike Tyson highly motivated to come into this fight, hoping that this fight would redeem not only his career but his whole life. Oh, he's doing a good job. He's got heart. Yeah, you can't take that from him. Big right hand from Lewis, and Tyson goes down for the third time in his career.
Wow.
It breaks my heart to see a great fighter at the end of their career. And Tyson didn't take care of himself, obviously. We know that. He was a stud. Lennox Lewis was a terrific heavyweight champ as well. Great fights back then, but I would love to have seen that fight like 3 years earlier than that.
Well, yeah, because Lewis really, you could see, great fighter, didn't like to get hit.
No.
You know, then that's it. And you could see that Mike Tyson, that wasn't the Mike Tyson we knew. That was Mike Tyson and right around getting in all the trouble and stuff like that. So it's a good thing. You know what, though? God bless him. He's doing great today.
Heck yeah. He's really rebounded.
AW, he's in everything involved. His undisputed.
He hasn't been the same since that Robin Gibbons interview with Oprah. She laid him out in that interview, and he never really recovered from that interview when she said, you know, I'm scared of him. You know, it was just terrible. He had no idea what he walked into. She was such a bee. Really, just a money-grabbing bee.
Wow.
Excuse my language.
All right, guys, so...
He didn't even swear. I mean, he even called her a bitch. I mean, he just said a bee. I mean, I don't get...
Her and her mother.
What?
Her and her mother. They both went after him. They both tried to control him.
So a two-pack of bitches.
They made him look like shit. Kevin Iole could tell us more about that.
Yes, I would say we're gonna have to let you prepare just a little bit more because we've got Kevin Iole joining us next. So do not go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
We are here, downtown Fenton, my favorite Bridge Street Exchange.
That's right. And you want to switch up your wardrobe this summer? It's this easy. You ready, Joey?
I'm ready.
All right, you ready? I like it. You want to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Ooh, Brixton. Nice. One more time?
Yes.
Ooh, I like the hat on this one, too. You ready to do it one more time, Joey?
I'm getting tired. One last one.
All right, let's change it. Bro, where's your shirt? You need new clothes this summer. Bridge Street Exchange in Fenton. That's where you need to go. Thank you, guys.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital sports network, live from my bookie studios. All right, guys, we have got Kevin Iole joining us from Yahoo Sports. Great article today. Do we have him on? Let's put him on. All right. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, great article.
You're like a regular guest now, man. I'm sorry. We tap you every week. We appreciate you.
I apologize.
Yeah.
A lot going on in the fight game.
A lot. I mean, it's now, I don't even want to call it the fight game. I don't even want to call this boxing anymore. I think it just needs to be called celebrity exhibitions. I can't call this boxing and sleep well at night.
When's this going to end?
Well, I think it's getting close. You know, I wrote my column yesterday about it. Floyd Mayweather fought Logan Paul on Sunday night. And, I can't argue it too much because they made a lot of money, right? And if you get the athletes making a lot of money, that's ultimately at the end of the day what it's about. But, we also have to remember the public, and the way they make the money is from the public buying the tickets. And, did the public get their money's worth out of something like this, or not just that event, but all these events that have been going on? And I think that there's some bad things that can happen as you go, forward in these things. But I think the public is going to start to lose interest in this. There's not a lot of compelling opponents for them. And at some point, they seem to be picking through kind of UFC retreads, right? Trying to find UFC fighters that are, out of the UFC, but still able to fight. And they're trying to do that and have them box. But I think at some point, that well is going to dry up and the public's interest is, because I think the greatest amount of interest in this is in the Paul's brothers fan bases, which are mostly, young kids, 15 and younger. And, how long do they stay with it before they lose interest in seeing these guys fight? I don't think it's going to be a long time.
Right.
Who's paying for all of this, these 15-year-olds? How are they paying for these pay-per-views?
Well, that's going to be interesting when the numbers come out because I think we'll see what it does. Mayweather has been regularly over $1 million, many times over $2 million and a couple of times over $4 million. So we'll see how the pay-per-view number comes. I'm hearing it's going to be a good number, 750, something like that. Still early to come up with an actual number, but it's, may not be the kind of number that, you're used to Mayweather getting, which would suggest that, as Dana White told me the other day, a lot of this is, Ben thievery. These younger kids who are the audience for the Paul brothers know how to steal the signal and do steal the signal. And for the pay-per-view industry, that's an issue that they really have. The UFC has an entire team that spends a lot of money and a lot of time to fight this kind of piracy. And that's something that, you really have to work on. And even when you do it, you're still going to lose a ton of to theft. So that, I think that, the number's not going to be as good as it might have been otherwise, because a lot of people just stole the signal.
Right. I'll tell you what, my stepson was at our house on Sunday night, and he was like, we're gonna get to watch the fight, right? I said, honey, I'm not paying $50 to watch this fight. And he was like, please. I was like, no, honey, you can watch it tomorrow for free, or after. Somebody record it. You can go on YouTube where these kids started, and you can watch it for free. So I would not
Good for you.
pay the $50 to watch this. But I did want to ask you, Kevin, now Jake Paul is kind of fishing to Canelo Alvarez to see if he's willing to take a fight. Do you think that somebody like Canelo would actually take this fight, or any of those elite or fighters like that are going to continue? This is a lot of money that's being thrown out.
Canelo is probably, the richest fighter out there active today. Manny Pacquiao would be the other guy that would be in that realm, since Mayweather was retired. And you saw Canelo's tweet after the fight, he had the face palm up, right? So I don't think that Canelo is going to make a lot of money just to fight his regular fights. He's looking to fight Caleb Plant for the Undisputed Super Middleweight Championship in September. He'll probably make $60-70 million for that. So I don't think he really has a need for the Paul brothers. But there's a lot of the fighters that aren't making that kind of money. They're making good money, but not that kind of money. And when you're hearing you can get, $10 million to, for one night against what you think would be an easy fight, that's where guys are jumping at this. But, the money is not there if the pay-per-view numbers aren't there. So it's like a difficult balance to strike.
So, Kevin, my question is along the same lines to Pilar's teenage person, but is this because whatever the celebrity game or whatever this is all about, as the Pauls have proven, the numbers game, and is there something out there as far as, because you're getting a younger audience into the boxing rings, probably not for the guys like us and Mads that we just watched Lennox Lewis' anniversary of knocking out Mike Tyson. That's not the kind of boxing it is, but is there dipping into that YouTube, Twitter, that younger audience, the teenage audience? Is there something there? Is it going to continue? Does it have the cluster to continue?
That was the hope that it would be. DAZN put a couple of these shows on and they wanted to see. But the problem is, what they've seen is that these fans are fans of the Paul brothers, not of fighting. And Darren, I was at LA for Logan Paul's pro debut, and he fought KSI. And on that particular fight, there was a lot of YouTube stars in the audience, and so you saw the kids in the crowd at Staples, and they weren't watching any of the fights that were in the ring, including some good fights that were going on. They were looking in the crowd and pointing to their parents that, here comes this YouTube star, here comes this YouTube star, and they could have cared less about what was going on in the ring. The only time they paid attention to the ring was when Logan Paul was in there. So I don't know that they're converting any of these people to boxing fans. If they were doing it, it's great, because certainly that's one thing. Boxing wants to get a younger demographic. MMA has that young demographic, and boxing has dropped as ESPN in particular has put fights on free basic cable. You're seeing the demographic drop, and they're starting to watch it, but it's still a little bit older than the MMA demographic. It would be good, but to answer your question, Darren, I don't think that they're really getting the people to make that transition. They're not fans of it. They're just fans of those two guys.
So it's more of the event and who's performing, and it doesn't matter what they're performing. In this case, it was a boxing event.
Right. I think they could be out there, and you watch their videos, they could be out there having a long drive competition or something. And I think those kids would watch it. And that's sort of how they made their popularity. They did outrageous things on video, like and stuff that, we would never do. And you go, oh my God, look at this crazy thing they're doing. And so that was it's a big stunt to get into boxing. You're challenging all these tough boxers and everything. And so, it was just an outrageous thing that appealed to that audience that follows them.
Kevin Iole joins us, Yahoo Sports, boxing, MMA expert, reporter, one of the best in the biz. I wanted to ask you about I really didn't want to talk about this fight at all because I think it was a farce, but during the fight, quote unquote, Mayweather, did he not hold up Paul from falling down on his ass?
No, I mean, I think, I know what you're talking about. He threw a combination and Logan fell forward, but Logan's balance was a little bit, was different. So he was bent at the waist. I don't think he would have gone down. And Mayweather, hey, look, Mayweather's taken a lot of abuse for not finishing him.
Right.
Even the former UFC heavyweight champion, Daniel Cormier, he said, it was a loss for Mayweather because he didn't finish Paul. And I have to admit, I thought he would finish him. The fight was playing out exactly like I thought it would. He would goof around and not do much the first couple of rounds, and I thought maybe around the 5th round he would start throwing some punches, land something, and knock Logan out. But he never seemed like he wanted to do that, and I did think he hurt Logan once or twice in the fight, but I never thought Logan was. I saw the clip, and Logan actually put an explanation of it out too. That people were thinking that he was, and Mayweather held him up. I don't think that was the case. I think he might have been wobbled a little bit at that point, but I don't think he was close to going down.
Okay,
I got his haterade.
I got one for you here. Speaking of haterade, I'm not a big fan of Mayweather's. I know everyone thinks he's the greatest boxer since sliced
from
bread.
Around there.
Nonetheless, he is the best ever. But I want your expert opinion. Your Mount Fuji of boxers. Your whatever you want to call it. Your Mount Rushmore of boxers. Ali, Frazier, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, Hearns. Where's this guy?
Well, if we're gonna talk Mount Rushmore, and that's not just the greatest fighters. There's going to be a different group of fighters out there than if we're talking the 4 or 5 best fighters of all time. I mean, to me, number 1 best fighter of all time, far and away, no question about it, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Wow,
I think
clearly
the best.
Over Ali.
Over Ali, of course. Over Ali, of course.
Wow.
I think the number 2 best of all time would be Henry Armstrong, who actually fought Robinson. Henry Armstrong did something. Imagine this. He was a featherweight. He won the featherweight title, moved up. He won the lightweight title, still holding the featherweight title. Then he moved up again, won the welterweight title while he was a 126-pounder, and moved up a 4th time, and he fought for the middleweight championship. This was at a time when there was 8 divisions in boxing. So if he would have won the middleweight fight, he would have had half of the titles in boxing. And Armstrong ended up fighting to a draw in the middleweight title fight. So he actually held 3 weight classes at the same time. So Armstrong was incredible. Then you can, there's some argument on who else you can put in there. Certainly, I think Ali would be in the top 5. Now, if you're talking, like accomplishments and everything, Ali is going to be number 1 on the Mount Rushmore, for just how big he was in the sport and went over. But I think the best fighter of all time, no question about it, was Sugar Ray Robinson.
I take my hat off.
Kevin, in your article that you wrote, you said yesterday it was why the end is near for the celebrity fighting craze. You brought up a very good correlation between what's going on now and the Mia St. John era. But I feel that Mia St. John, while she was kind of the celebrity fighter,
Playboy,
really beautiful girl, great personality, TV personality. She did have a career of 65 fights. Sure. And she took real hits. And now if you look at her career or where she is now, I mean, her career is over back in 2016. But now, I mean, she's very open and public and a huge advocate for mental health awareness. Yep. And if you talked about the kind of hits she took, she was taking real hits. I feel that the hits that Floyd Mayweather could have really given any of the Paul brothers, Logan Paul or Jake Paul, any of these guys are really taking aren't what the celebrity fighters that later turned out to be real fighters were taking back in their days. Mia had real teeth knocked out. Mia had real head injuries.
She became a world champion.
Yeah, yep. I mean, she took it from the celebrity fighter and then went to become a real fighter.
So
Do
here's
you see any
the
of
point I was making in that. The point I was making in that was, there was the two fighters, Eric Butterbean Esch, who was a 350-pound bald guy who they called the king of the four-rounders. He wasn't very good, but they would match him up with, guys like us, right? Not Darren, but Thomas, right? And they would get guys like us, and he would just go like this and throw crazy punches. And, really couldn't fight, but he was a funny guy, and it was a shtick. And at the time, they put Mia, and they marketed Mia as a pretty girl. They called her the knockout. They did not market her as a good fighter. They marketed her and they promoted her, because of her looks. And it was like she was on those cards because she was eye candy. And I made a point in my column that mentioned, but she did go on later to win a world championship, to give her credit for what she was doing. But that's not why they put her on the card. They didn't put her on the card because they thought she was a good fighter and that she would make entertaining fights. They thought, hey, guys are going to like to see her on wearing shorts and on pay-per-view. And so they put her on the card for that reason. And that was, I think, like, it was kind of degrading to her, although it was an opportunity. But it then became this thing, that people did not take her seriously, that when she later proved that she was good, a lot of people had already sailed and that they thought she couldn't fight. Right.
Do you think that any of the Paul brothers could actually turn this into a real career like Mia did?
I think Jake is by far the better of the two fighters. Jake seems like he has some boxing skill. I know his trainer very well, BJ Flores, and BJ Flores is a serious boxing guy and just a serious man overall. And he insists that Jake can fight. But here's the thing. Jake has 3 fights in his career, right? And to really be ready for the elite competition, you're going to probably need another 15, 18 fights, and maybe even more because he doesn't have an amateur career, right? So he didn't have that background in the amateurs that he had, 50 or 100 fights or more. Then go into the pros and get 18 or 20 fights. And he's already a multi-millionaire. So does he want to go on with this and keep doing this to try to become a pro world champion? Who knows? Right. I sense that he doesn't really want to put the sacrifices in that you have to make to be a star at that level. So, we'll see. But I think he much more than Logan would be the one with talent in the family.
Kevin Iole, help us out here. Help the Hook out here on Woodward Sports. Can you help us book Jake Paul against Darren McCarty on ice here at Little Caesars Arena? Can we do it?
I think he's in big trouble, right?
I told him on ice.
It's got to be on ice.
I said I'd be booking, I'd be taking calls.
I mean, people would pay for that, don't you think?
They'd be in. Hey, listen. Next time I talk to him, I'm going to mention it, and I'm going to say I got this friend of mine who can throw him. He can throw him.
When they want,
but there's one caveat.
When they want to take, they're extremists. I'm just trying to help them do their job. They want to do extreme things. So when they want to take it to the ice, eventually, because they've marketed everything else, right? Yeah, I got the gloves on because Maz pisses me off, and so I don't hurt my hands when I smack them.
And in the interview that you had with Jake, he did say that he's an athlete now, right? He wants to be taken as so here you go.
I'm just giving
athlete.
Trying to allow him to further his career if he wants to get. I can't help him out on the ski slope, but I can help him in the ice rink.
Kev, you're going to be Don King.
We're going to work on that.
You're Don King for us.
You are officially you are my booking agent right there for anything that happens with this.
Now, Darren, I'm going to tell you this. So I was at a Tyson Fury press conference last year, and Ryan Reeves from the Golden Knights happened to be at the press conference.
He's twice my size.
He's a heavyweight champion in the NHL. I think you would agree.
Yeah.
And so he's asking, he's talking to Fury about fighting, and Fury is giving him fighting lessons. And I'm going, Tyson, he's on stage. You can the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, but here's the one thing, Kev, you got to understand. I boxed for 10 years during the off season because of the training, and there's no better training as for conditioning. But I boxed with a guy named Al Irish, and that was the one thing is that you can. It's you know what it is. It's being able to see the punches, recognize in that boxer's mentality of being in there. My last question to you though, because my favorite, Maz gets his favorite. When I was doing that boxing and stuff, that's when Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward 1, 2, and 3 went on. Do you have a favorite out of those three? Do you consider one of them the best out of all of them?
Of the Gaddy Ward fights?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first fight, was the one that really, always resonates with me. And Gotti got hurt by that body shot late in the fight. And there was so much drama in that particular fight. And a funny story was I actually missed that fight. There was a fight in Las Vegas and I thought was going to be good. And I went to it. It was Kostya versus Ben Taki, and it turned out to be one of the worst fights ever. Mm-hmm. And after I was with a couple other reporters, and we were walking to the restaurant at the casino we were in to get something to eat after the fight, and Larry Merchant called us, the HBO broadcast.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my God, you should have seen this fight!" And we were going nuts because we missed it.
Oh,
and we went
man.
to this other fight. But I think that first fight was the one that really was incredible.
I encourage everyone. Is that an Iron Sheik shirt you got on?
Yeah, this is my man, the Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik, number one. Yes. Detroit guy. I love you, Kev.
Hey, Kev, Knights, Avalanche.
Yeah.
Bring it home. Who's winning the next 2 out of 3?
I'll tell you what, I think when you look at the series, after game 1, the Knights have outshot the Avalanche more than 2-1. The scoring chances have been 3-1 in the Golden Knights' favor. We're getting Matthias Janmark back tonight to play. I like the Knights to win the next 2 out of 3 and win the series.
Oh, my goodness. I'm with you, man. We're all rooting for you. We don't want the Avalanche to win, even though Mac picked them. We don't want them to win. We're rooting for you. Next. That's right.
Yeah, you want the easy trek through them. You want that path to Tampa Bay.
Hey.
That'll be easy because that reminds me of sort of our trek in 02 or 98. Sometime we didn't have to go through Colorado in 98. Dallas was good, but there's a psychology. So good luck to the Golden Knights.
Kevin.
I think you're right.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin,
thanks as always, bud.
Keep up the great work on yahoosports.com. I absolutely love your articles.
You're the best.
It's amazing. Keep it
I
up.
appreciate that.
All right, Kevin,
KO.
thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.
All right,
Good
take
luck
it
tonight.
easy. Bye-bye.
He's a big Golden Knights fan. He's at every Vegas game.
He's
living the life.
Bringing up, and that's the whole thing. Sugar Ray Robinson, he fought 20 times in 1 year.
No, it's amazing.
You know what I mean? Like
great.
these guys, they don't make them. And do you know why? Let me give you a little education. Because back then, right, the hemp was around, and the animals were eating the hemp, and the milk had the hemp in it, and people were eating the hemp, and their bodies were working more, and it was better. It's all about the hemp.
I love it, man. Eat plants.
History.
Eat plants. That's right. Eat plants. Absolutely. Hemp seeds are actually very high in the omegas that you need. DHA and
Mama
EPA.
Organic.
I'm just saying.
She feeds her kids those.
Absolutely.
Yep, hemp seeds, nothing else, just the hemp seeds. It's like a nut, okay? All right, guys, when we come back, it is time for our very own Fish to take the stage in the Kevin Durant versus Jay Williams drama. Don't go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Ever since Corey's been wearing this LeBron James jersey around the network, it's been falling down a lot.
And really, that's it. Dan Campbell is going to be the man for the Lions. Don't you agree, Corey? I didn't even touch you.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports at my favorite downtown Fenton, Bridge Street Exchange. Let's go check out their beautiful store. You know we love Michigan summers. Got to turn up on the lake. Pre-made mixed drinks. They even got their own beautiful Bridge Street Exchange t-shirts. I got mine on. Jewelry, they got you here. I got mine on. Titanium Buzz. If you're not quite ready to ask that big question yet with the jewelry, look nice for your girl. They got polos. And last but not least, the most comfortable shoes on the planet. Hey Dude. They're literally called Hey Dude. Shop here at Bridge Street Exchange, downtown Fenton. Support a locally owned business.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital sports network. All right, it is time for our much-anticipated Woodward Sports Network Theater.
Oscar nominated.
Yes, with the Oscar-nominated Fish from the Fishbowl getting ready for his scene. So first off, should we set things? You want to go on
First
ahead
off,
and
thanks
play
for
the
the
video?
paper, man. This is very nice.
You're welcome, man. I try to make things easy for you.
Very nicely printed.
It's a good script for you. It's easier than watching your phone. Nonetheless, the whole deal is Jay Williams, who has the morning show with Keyshawn on ESPN, and Zubin, they have the morning show. Then they go, of course, they always take those guys and they put them on Get Up with Mike Greenberg. So this is a clip. Mike Greenberg and Jay Williams, a former Duke basketball player, talking about his little feud with Kevin Durant. Check this out.
Can you have a quick story time with Uncle Jay? Yes, I would love to. So a couple years ago, we're at a holiday party, and I came on this show, and I did a segment with you, and I said we had Anthony Davis and we had Kevin Durant. Yeah. I said, you know what, Anthony Davis and KD were to have a baby, the similarities physicality-wise would be like Giannis. Yeah. Right? I go to the holiday party, Kevin Durant comes up to me and says, yo, don't you ever, ever compare me to Giannis. Don't you ever compare me to Giannis. I said, KD, what are you talking about? You know, I was just talking about similarities, physicality-wise, size, length. He's like, no, don't you ever compare me to Giannis. So when I see that matchup, you know what that matchup says to me? That's something personal for Kevin Durant. That's who he's attacking each and every day, because that's been in his brain. Because people have talked about Giannis being on the same level. That's the kind of intensity you're seeing in this rivalry.
Oh, that's a very interesting story.
So nonetheless, the Nets are pounding the Bucks right now.
That's a very interesting
And it's
story.
all on Kevin Durant's shoulders because, of course, James Harden down with a groin injury. I know Kyrie does his thing, but this is Kevin Durant's. And Blake, of course. But this is Kevin Durant's team. He's waited all year to play in this finals, and he's going to get the Nets to the finals by hook or crook. They're up 2-0 on the Bucks. It's not over yet, but he goes out on Instagram, and this is where, of course, we will take you live right now to our version of Kevin Durant for his internet and then Twitter responses to Jay Will.
This is a fucking lie. Jay Williams can never speak to me ever.
That's Instagram, and there you are. It's right there in front of you. And he's the bottom. Easy Money Sniper on Instagram if you want to follow Kevin Durant on Instagram. But now you go to him on Twitter.
Mans will do anything to advance their careers in this media shit, wanting to accept it by the industry. That will dispose of you whenever they please. Keep me out of all this corny ass talk about who's better and legacy and all that dumbass shit. I don't even talk like that.
There you go. Thank you, Kevin.
Yes.
So there you go.
Fish is up for an Oscar for that.
KD is putting it out there that don't compare me to Giannis, and he's taking him to school right now.
He didn't compare him to Giannis. He said that if AD and KD had a baby, it'd be a Giannis.
Correct.
He's not comparing them.
Okay, well, whatever word you want to use.
Well,
how about the correct word?
Okay.
Not whatever word. How about be accountable?
I feel like, I do feel that
that's what I would have said. I would have said, Kevin, I said that if you crossed you and Anthony, what would happen is a Giannis, you fucking baby.
Yeah, but so I do
Not
think
you.
that it was
Kevin's a fucking baby.
But
You're
I
a
do
big
feel
baby.
that there was.
When I say big baby, I mean you. When I say
He
baby,
did-
I mean him.
He did compare him to Giannis a little bit, saying that Giannis has got some of your great characteristics, right?
Well, if you had a kid, Pilar,
I get
had
it.
a kid with somebody else, then you would get that, right?
Right.
So
But he's saying, Giannis is a great player.
he's
and
saying
so
Giannis took something from you, not
yeah.
you. He put him as a parental unit, and Giannis is a kid, which he should have said, Jay Williams, don't talk about me with that, but at least you got this straight. But keep my name out of your mouth. But that's what it is.
Well, but then what?
It's baby shit. Isn't he supposed to be worried about beating the play? He's still in the playoffs, right?
What Katie said was that conversation never happened, and don't be putting words in my mouth.
Well, if that's that's a totally different.
He said, don't be.
If he
don't
said
be
that didn't
speaking
happen,
for me like
we didn't.
that.
What he's saying is he never ran into Jay Williams at the party. He never said this. They never had this conversation. That's what he's saying.
Right. Yeah.
So he's saying Jay Williams. It's two different points. Jay Williams, okay, making up the story, which is KD, is one. The comparison, but not saying he's in the same league, is he didn't do that. But he might have made it up. If he made it up, then he should be held accountable. And it's not
Jay
whatever
Williams
word.
should be held accountable.
Giannis
He
at
should
18.
be held. Jay Williams should be held accountable
right.
for making up stories.
I agree. For
Giannis
sure.
had 18 last night. KD had 32 in that 39-point Nets victory over the Bucks. And that's without James Harden. So
we can all guarantee it's personal.
I was
whatever it is for Kevin Durant or whatever
whatever
that.
makes him happy, right?
Yeah.
Whatever gets him going. Look when he was with the Golden State Warriors. He got all pissy because everyone said, "Oh, look at you! You got to go run to the Warriors." And what did he do? They win a championship. You know, they probably should have. Not probably. They should have won too.
Yep.
If Clay didn't get hurt and Numbnuts didn't get in trouble with all those technicals. Draymond Green.
All right, guys. Well,
Should
there
have
you
two
have it. That is our
Back-to-backers.
world-famous Woodward Sports Network Theater, brought to you by our good man Fish, directly from the Fish Bowl. Kevin Durant always gives us good content, though.
He does.
He does.
He does, but we're going to have more good content, supposedly. I'm
We
going to
have
get abused again.
Coming up, so we do have our Woodward Sports Network court. So we have been subpoenaing some people around here for that. We're waiting for them to show up for their subpoena. Meanwhile, D-Mac, hit us with your Stanley Cup playoff update.
Well, you know what? I don't even have to tell you what's going on because the great Kevin Iole just told you that the Golden Knights will go into Colorado tonight. And you know what? In this series and in playoff series, we got these two big forces colliding. And if Vegas is going to move forward, they have to win one in Colorado. Tonight would be the night. So the Vegas Knights, that series is tied at 2. Big pivotal game 5. Also, I did a little research. I didn't talk to Habs, man, but I talked to a friend of his, and he called him. We got him on a 3-way, and he said, the Caniac, they're done tonight. The Tampa Bay, too much, too many, too stuff.
Yeah.
So Tampa Bay, I think they're going to finish off the Caniacs tonight.
Sounds pretty good.
Right. Obviously, Montreal, like I mentioned earlier in the show, the biggest. When you have a chance to close, the hardest game to win is the fourth game, to close the series out. When you have the opportunity, because not only does it allow you to get rest, it allows you to get healthy. Right? Jeff Petrie, big part of their defense shut down. Big bomb from the point. Dan Petrie, his kid, got banged up, didn't miss the rest of the game, was out in the first period last night, so it allows him to get back. And the other last series that we're talking about, the Bruins and the Isles, Alex called it. Exactly what the Isles did last night, going into hostile territory in Boston, is what Vegas has to do tonight. So you would expect into the Coliseum tomorrow that the Islanders will have to close them out. It's great hockey. I watched the whole Islander-Boston game last night, and that was exciting. We don't have it, but Brad Martin. Did you get Marchand's goal? No worries, bro. You're busy.
I'm glad you didn't
get
it.
It's an unbelievable goal. I'll probably show you tomorrow.
Listen, this is the first time that they actually reseed the playoffs, and I was even a little confused on this. So it's not East and West anymore. It is just the whole big league. Basically, the winner, Montreal, is now waiting for the winner of, is it Vegas and Colorado? So it's going to be a West versus an East team there. So it could be an East-East final is what I'm trying to get at. If Tampa wins tonight, they will play the winner of the Islanders and Bruins. So that's going to be an East team. If Montreal beats either the Avalanche or Vegas, which is going to be hard for them, it could be an East versus East final. So
it's something that obviously different. They didn't screw the draft up this year, so they had to screw up the playoffs.
They had to screw up something, and it's always something, man. And I don't know what to say, but it is what it is, I guess.
Fish, what do you have for us?
Aren't they making it East versus West? So if
no.
Yeah,
they can't. There's 3 East teams and 1 West team because the Canadian division screwed it all up this year because of COVID.
Yeah, but if the West team wins, so if Vegas beats,
if the West holds, West holds their seed, they will be in the final.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that the East team could beat them before they get to the final.
Correct.
That's what that's what you meant.
Saying East and East.
Got it.
So it's technically still West versus East, but they just had to change it because the Canadian team.
Correct.
So they didn't really change anything. It's just
they reseeded is the change. They don't usually reseed in the playoffs. You usually have who you go, but this year they're reseeding because of that. So that's what's changed.
But they reseeded, but they still made it West versus East.
No, they reseeded top to bottom. It just happened that there's 3 East teams and 1 West team, so it didn't matter where it fell down. So
Fish, here's how it goes. At the end of these 2 series, there's going to be 4 teams.
Yes.
3 East teams and 1 West team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
1 West team plays an East team.
Yep.
If the East team beats the West team, there are no more West teams to play in the finals.
Yep.
Are you following me?
Yeah.
So 2 East teams for the first time can play in the finals.
Yes.
Okay, we're good.
Unless the West team continues.
If the West team holds seed, holds serve, they will make it in.
All right, guys.
Which they probably will, because Colorado and Vegas, I think, are too tough for Montreal.
But they're basically just putting Canada on the west side then.
Hey, Maz is just wasting time.
All right, yeah,
Maz is trying to get a conjunction in this court case.
I see that the people we have started to subpoena to our Woodward Sports Network court are starting to show up. So we're going to do a quick round of
I want my lawyer.
Me gusta or no me gusta while everybody continues to
Jeff, you're
trickle
my
in
lawyer.
here. Me gusta or no me gusta, you guys know what to do. If you like the statement I'm about to say, you just hit us up on our social media at Woodward Sports and say me gusta. If you do not like it, do not agree with it, you just simply say no me gusta. All right, guys, are you ready?
Yep.
Even without James Harden, the Brooklyn Nets will win the NBA championship. We're going pretty quick because we got a court date. Me gusta,
No me gusta.
no me gusta. No me gusta.
No me gusta. Too old breakdown.
Ooh, too old will break down.
I'm
what
with
do you
you.
have to say
I
with
think
that?
they need Harden.
I'm me gusta. Yeah, they win.
I think
Why don't you go to him first? I thought he was going, yeah.
Opposite
she
what
never
he
goes
says.
to me.
All right, hurry up.
I got the Nets need Harden before the year's up. Otherwise, they won't win it all.
Okay, Alex, ¿te gusta o no te gusta?
The champion is coming out of the West Conference. I don't see the Nets winning.
I like that. Fish, me gusta o no me gusta?
Me gusta, they'll win it.
All right.
Do you give a shit?
I'm gonna.
No, I actually do.
Okay, good.
My honest opinion is that the Nets, they'll win if they play the Suns. They will get their ass beat if they play the Clippers.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you say,
like that. I like that. Me gusta.
It'll be 4-1 or 4-2 Clippers.
Wow, Clippers.
All right, guys.
So the home of the blind will fight for a championship.
If they play the Clippers, it'll be 4-2. If they play the Suns, it'll be maybe 4-2, 4-1.
7 games.
The two worst teams in NBA history, the Clippers and Nets, could play for it all. That's what it comes down to.
That is what it comes down to. All right, guys. The courtroom is starting to fill up. We need to take
want my
our
lawyer.
order. People starting
Maz,
to
your lawyer's
submit
getting out of the
their
booth.
evidence.
Hey, you're the jackass that represents himself.
You do not. Yep. You do not want
I'm
to go
prepared. Look.
anywhere. You're tuning into the Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
What's up? My name is Sean Baligian. Glad to be a part of Baligian and Bell every day at 11. I'm the guy that gets pissed off at all the stupid sports fans out there.
What up, though? I'm Drake Bill here on the Baligian and Bell show here at Woodward Sports Network. Tap into the energetic Sean and the calm, smooth Drake Bill.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Oh
my
Tom
God.
Mazaway.
Can you pull up George again?
Welcome
Tell me if
back
isn't George old. Can
to
you just pull it?
the Hook.
Look at this.
On Woodward Sports
Look at
Network.
Now watch.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
Watch. Watch how bleeding. Look at right here and
No.
look at him.
Yep. All right, guys.
Look at Maz.
It is time
There
for
he is.
us to
It
get
is
to the
Costanza.
Woodward Sports Network
I'm George.
Day in Court.
I'm George.
We like to call it.
Subpoenaed. We have brought in Stick.
What?
We have brought in Art for the recap. We have got the Vault, D-Mac.
I'm the bailiff. I have to swear everybody in now. We are continuing. This is called Woodward Courts. Plar's your judge. I am your bailiff. Maz can't help but help get himself in the stands. Yesterday, we, with the great pleasure of our own very own Art Smith from the Art of Podcast, the Art of Combat, the Art of Podcasting, he's still working on that one. The Art of Combat, but also to Mr. Drew Lane and Mark Fellhauer from the Drew and Mike podcast on Maz's re-gifting. I got an update. Kevin, I guess, is coming in. Art's going to make it all good. Don't ask about the Garth Brooks thing. We're not going to get to that today, but Maz has an update on, he talked to Fredo, Freddy the Pizza Guy. So the Triple Crown, Maz, can you please tell the jury before we move on to the chairs case?
I can.
Yes.
I did talk to Freddie yesterday. Freddie the Pizza Man.
Look into the camera when you're doing it, because the people need to see it, bud.
Freddie the Pizza Man in
Show
Melbourne
them how
now.
much you mean this.
What did he get? What did Dave give him? Portnoy 8.7 on the 1-bite scale. 8.7, unprecedented numbers here in Michigan. Go try his pizza. You have to wait in line to get in it. Nonetheless, last night Drew brought up that supposedly
fucking camera.
Sorry, Drew and Mark brought up supposedly that Freddie wrote them and said Maz. I think Maz regifted something I gave him. I do, of course. I had to talk to Freddie, my good friend, after the show. I called him, and he was laughing. And I was like, Freddie, what did I do? Remind me. He's like, well, Maz, do you remember that Triple Crown picture that I gave you? All the horses that won the Triple Crown. And I'm like, yeah, I remember getting that. I don't remember you giving it to me. He's like, yeah, I ordered it for you and gave it to you. It was a framed picture. It was about this big. It wasn't huge, but it was about this big. I loved it. But that year, it turned out, American Pharaoh.
Don't give it the reason, Maz. Tell what you did.
Wait, but then what happened?
American Pharaoh won the Triple Crown that year. So
don't tell why you didn't do
Quit
it. You
stalling.
ruined your whole credibility. The jury doesn't care now because you brought in that stupid stat.
We
If
have
you said what you
9
did.
minutes.
Okay, listen.
Orden.
Okay.
I can't even help you with the chairs now because you won't even
Tenemos
fucking tell
9
the story.
minutos. Orden en mi corte.
Okay, I got it. So,
Thank you.
Supposedly, Freddie gave this to me. I swear to you, I don't remember him giving it to me. So what happened is, my friend Pete Spivak, who was a big horse fan, it was his birthday, and I had no room for this particular picture. So I didn't know Freddie gave it to me. So I wrapped it, and I went to Pete. We had a birthday party for Pete, and I invited Freddie the Pizza Man to it. So it's me, Freddie the Pizza Man, Pete, and a couple of other people. I give Pete this gift. Pete opens it, loves it. Freddie looks at it and says to himself, what the fuck? Didn't I give that to Maz? So it turns out Freddie gave that picture to me, and I re-gifted it to Pete at his own party in front of the guy who gave it to me. I had no idea, of course,
The
that this
ultimate
happened.
Costanza. Now this is when you put you leave the caveat out, but I'll put it in because you brought it up because American Pharaoh won the Triple Crown that year, made it 7 horses, so it wouldn't look right to you because he didn't get you one with 7 horses in it.
Correct.
Anyways, that's not the point. Let's get to the case here. You were trying to bring the jury to your thing that you did that. You fucking ruined it. Now you're going to be screwed. Stick, you're in here.
Hello.
The case of the chairs, please. Now, does everybody here swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the fucking truth, or I'll punch you in the face?
Amen.
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 I do.
Stick.
I do.
Yeah, me too.
I do.
Okay, now, my
Best of my
understanding.
ability and knowledge.
These chairs that we sit up here in.
These pieces of shit.
These pieces of shit. Tom Mazaway, are you responsible for these?
I am not. Now let me tell you. I'll give you a quick story.
Bullshit part 2. We got 7 minutes for the show
I
to
was
be
hired
over.
in January. I got to meet Stick, Joey, and Adam. They hired me. Chad hired me. I came in. It was wonderful. I was here. So I'm wondering why they're doing the show standing up. So I go to all of them and I'm like, why are you guys standing up? You need chairs. They all tell me, Maz, you don't need chairs. This is the new look. You stand. I talked to Chad. He's like, fuck that. Order some chairs and let's get him in here. He's like, so I talked to Jesse. Jesse is the right-hand man here. He does Birmingham Roast, Lady Jane's, and of course Woodward Sports. He's Chad's eyes and ears here. Jesse, excellent man, could tell the truth with the best of them. Okay, nonetheless, Jesse was going to make the final call on the chairs. He said, send me what you got. Okay, Adam, what do you want me to do? He's like, find out some chairs and email and text them to us. Okay, I go on Amazon, I look around, I go to a couple other stores, I look around, I find this chair that was priced for under $200 with wheels and tall enough to reach this desk. I send it to these guys, Stick, Adam, and I think Jesse was on the text as well.
Oh, you're throwing Jesse?
Yes.
I thought it was just Joey Stick.
Jesse didn't get thrown under the bus yesterday.
I'm not positive that those 3 guys were on this text. I am positive that I sent Adam for sure my choice of chairs, which was not this because I am not crazy.
Thank you,
order a chair without wheels.
Thank you, Mr. Mazaway. As we're up against the clock, we cannot.
Can I give you the Cliff Notes version of the truth?
Because Adam is not here.
Okay.
Stick. Please, your side.
Cliff Notes version of the truth. I started working here in October. Maz started in January. Like you said, that was factual of his statement.
One truth.
Yes, one truth. We will give him that. We were going back and forth on the chairs. Like you said, we were standing at the point. They tasked me with finding the chairs. I sent like 15 different fucking chairs to him, and it's like, this one's too cheap, this one's too expensive, this one sucks. Maz gets here. He tells Chad, you know what? I'll handle the chairs. And he said, I'll handle the chairs. I'll handle the phone lines. I'll do all this stuff. Maz came out, and that was part of the initial agreement with Maz. Next thing I know, these chairs show up. I had nothing to do with them. I was not involved in the conversation. Maz said he would come in and take care of the chairs. Did you say that, Maz?
I did that, and that's why I gave them to Adam, because I have no business ordering anything. I don't even have a T-shirt that says Woodward Sports. How can I have a credit card?
You don't get a T-shirt because of the chairs.
That's right.
I don't have a credit card. Now I have no business ordering anything.
Now you brought up a point. Is there a receipt who ordered
I need
the
a
chairs?
PO.
Yes, I have the purchase order and I can provide it to you by tomorrow.
All right. Well, this is getting juicy.
What does that mean?
See, I have
and who
the
signed
receipt
it?
that has your
Here
information.
comes Joey.
Joey has nothing to do with it.
Oh, but you threw Joey under the bus.
No,
What are
I
you
didn't.
talking about?
Yes,
You
so
threw
me,
Joey, Adam,
Joey,
Stick,
and Adam under the bus
And now
yesterday.
Jesse.
And now Jesse. That's
I mean,
who
that's pretty brave of going to Jesse. I mean, no one really throws Jesse anywhere. But
No tengo nada de control en este cuarto.
Because I was going to stay out of this until my name got brought in this, and, you know, now
feel
that I'm
like-
defended.
I feel
Here,
like
Joey.
I need forensic evidence that this PO that you have
I will have it to you.
by Tom
George likes
Mazaway.
his chicken spicy.
Joey, what do you
sweaty cow chicken.
You're wrong.
He said you're wrong.
Pilar, I will have the purchase order to you by tomorrow around this time.
And I'm also going to need a subpoena Jesse.
Yeah, is Jesse out there right now?
Yeah, he is. You want him?
Can you bring him in here?
tomorrow,
The final.
we're getting to the.
We got 3 minutes.
There's no time. It's just the internet. Who cares?
Here's the. What,
Jesse, we need you in
cannot be.
Give Jesse the mic over here.
Oh, Jesse. Okay, order. There will be order in my courtroom. That is how we do things
Where's
at
the
Woodward
music?
Sports Network Courthouse. Jesse, thank you for being here on such short notice and respecting your subpoena. Who the shit ordered these chairs? Oh my God,
I believe they were initially brought to the table by Maz. But here's the thing. They were signed off by Stick and Joey for the order.
What?
Wait, what?
He brought the option up. They moved forward with the purchase.
Oh.
So they're all three at fault.
I did not bring up this chair.
I like
Jesse,
it.
I did. You're right. I gave them my idea. These guys ordered it. Adam's got the money. Who the fuck am I? I don't even have a T-shirt that says Woodward Sports. I have no business ordering anything.
Well, but Jesse said
Maz
that Stick
provided the
Two
recommendation.
truths. That's true also, Matt.
Stick said. I mean,
These guys have leisure suits that say Woodward Sports on them. They got sneakers. They got hats. They got floppy hats. They have leisure suits.
I'm
I don't have a T-shirt.
I'm gonna help.
Who the hell am I?
They got dude shoes and
Voy
dude
a
legs.
llamar a la policía. Voy a llamar a la policía.
La Migra.
Oh, snap. So, as we were saying, in orderly conduct, it does look like the fault is with Joey and Stick because that's who would sign the PO.
It's Adam. Trust me.
No, you can ask Jesse. They do not trust me with any
It's
design
Adam.
look here at all.
I promise
Jesse
you,
said-
it's Adam. Where is he?
so let me ask you this.
He's missing, right?
The
It's
most-
Adam.
He's on his honeymoon.
I don't give a fuck. He's missing.
Isn't
Okay,
he
that
missed his court date.
convenient? Isn't that convenient, Adam? Oh.
So, I guess by
Who gives
Tom
a shit? Who am
Mazaway.
I?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to have to get a forensic accountant involved in this.
Thank you, Jesse.
And the main question, yes, Jesse, thank you so much for not failing to appear in court.
Yes, that is the most attractive man in the place, by the way.
Oh,
there you go.
so sexy. Great
I mean,
ass.
for sure.
I will put this all to bed.
Hold on.
Yep, go ahead. Sorry,
Hold on.
Judge. Sorry, Judge.
You can bring your evidence.
Honor.
That's right. You can bring your evidence tomorrow. I just want to know what needs to get done to get some chairs in here that roll and don't fall apart.
Here's the best part. All those things do. The bottoms pull out. We can just order wheels and put them right in. It's not the chairs. Like, they're adaptable.
Why do we make this so difficult? Do you know that once...
The bottom line is these are probably the chairs Mass ordered, just they don't have the wheels on.
Who put them together? Adam did.
I put them together.
Oh, you did. That's right. It was a Saturday night.
Yes.
They probably came with wheels.
No, they didn't. They didn't. They
I
came
was
like this.
vindicated. Vindicated.
No.
Like
I don't
the
have a
person on
T-shirt.
social media.
I have no rights
Do you want
here.
this T-shirt? I'll give
I
it to you right
have
now.
no rights here. Nobody even knows I'm here. Trust me.
Okay, so
My wife doesn't even know what I do for a living. I promise you.
Okay,
Take
so
the light, take the lightning, or the knife.
like our listener said, like our hooker, our follower, whatever we call them here, hookers, right?
Yeah,
I'm not offending anybody. I just want to point that out. Said it sounds like this is all just one big Maz understanding.
Well, and what I'll say is this. Tomorrow, I will have the purchase order that Maz knows about.
Means nothing.
Okay, it will mean something.
means a
Your
lot.
signature's on it.
Well, can I put in a
Can't
PO?
prove that.
I have the
We're going forensic accounting.
tomorrow.
Can I put in a request for a purchase order for some wheels? That's it.
Well,
about
you
just
got to
go
get
to
it
the
signed.
bottom
You got to
massage?
get it signed off by Maz
What do you
first.
want?
All right.
Wheels, or you want the hair rub, or do you want the wheels?
I mean, I would love some wheel. Getting in and out of here is real hard. I have to.
But
climb
that's
in
the
and out
point.
of
If
chair.
there was wheels, y'all be sliding all over the camera. It'd be hard to keep you in frame. Like,
How
I like
about just
that you're
put it
stationary.
on? Just put it on. Well, here's the thing. I can't get in and up out of these chairs, and I know that Kennedy feels the same way. We're gonna end up with some serious varicose veins sitting here for 2 hours straight. I mean, I just need
That's
some
all right.
chairs.
That's part of being a strong, successful woman.
No.
That's right.
No.
My grandma had
And you
varicose
can
veins.
catch
There's
it
nothing wrong
8
with
to
her.
10
Don't you
a.m.
mess with
on the
these
morning
legs, all
wood.
right? There's more legs on me than a bucket full of chicken. Don't you mess with my legs. I would like some wheels. All right, guys, we have got to do a flash lightning round of who you like.
I've been vindicated.
No,
You have.
Listen,
You have.
until you get a shirt, you haven't been nothing. I got Vegas tonight. Let's go.
Vegas. All right, Maz.
I got
you
Dodgers,
got?
White Sox, and Yankees parlay plus 501.
It was supposed to be a lightning round, but we'll take
is
it.
lightning.
Alex.
I got Utah Jazz and Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fish, who we got?
Yep, that's how short I am. Big rugby game tomorrow. I'm taking New South Wales Blues over the Queensland Maroons. And then, Pilar, you're going to Adams country, Lebanon over Turkmenistan in the
Lebanon,
Asian Cup
the Camels.
qualifiers.
Oh,
There
nice.
you have it, my friends. That is who we like. Hey, big thanks to everybody who joined in on all of our conversations on our social media at Woodward Sports. Make sure that you are downloading the app, sharing it,
Man,
liking
you can
it,
cut the music now.
telling
No, I
your
like it
friends
all the way, baby.
about it. You can get it on the Apple
I've been
Store. You can
vindicated.
get it. You can get it in the
I'll have this
Android
minute.
store. Big thanks to everybody who spent the last 2 hours with us and helped us get to the bottom of this. Huge thanks
What a
to
lawyer.
Kevin Iole. We absolutely
you
love
almost
him. Make
made it.
sure that you're checking out his columns on yahoosports.com. For Fish, with your Academy Award-winning performance, thank you for turning that off.
Maz.
Goodness, I was on your side.
You're still
For
somewhat
Jeff,
responsible.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
For
you're
Jeff.
going to get a couple.
For
You're going to
Alex,
get a sentence.
For Tom Mazaway, for D-Mac. Oh, he's
Oh,
got
vindication!
it. Oh, my
Yay,
goodness.
give it up to Maz.
So now, Matt,
Hey,
can you
did you
order
like
me
and
some
follow?
wheels?
You better like and follow.
I hope you like and follow. That's a T-shirt Tuesday. Gosh, I love Stick. He's
Is
amazing.
that from Tom Brady? Thanks. There
All
you
right,
go,
and
Maz.
big thanks to everybody who showed up and for their subpoenas and court.
Are we done
Stick,
yet?
Joey, Jesse, Art, you guys are amazing. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll see you guys all back here again, same time, same place tomorrow. You've been tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Deuces.
Woods, first question. Hey, Dan. Over the past couple of weeks, from the comment about the kneecaps in your introductory press conference of last week, wearing the helmet to talk about the Grand Prix, which I thought was pretty cool, you've caught your fair share of criticism from the media. What do you think that is that some media members are missing about the way that you're trying to connect with the city?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm not worried about it. I get it. There again, my whole thing, it was kind of a joke. The helmet was sitting here, and so, but it was also like, hey man, it's the Detroit Grand Prix. I think that would be a pretty cool deal for our people, our fans, to see that. And I think if I'm associated with the Grand Prix, it's like, hey man, that's pretty cool. And so that's really as far as it went. I'm not worried about the criticism. Look, I'm going to get criticized either way. That's what you guys do, and everybody outside of this world, and ultimately I'm going to be judged on wins and losses. And so that's just, there again, I was just kind of keeping it light. Look, those things aren't going to happen during the season. I'm not, but right now I'm just kind of being me. I'm having a good time with it. And so